important lineup here. Damage control here. Excellent not being able to get it.
That is correct. 6 of the best teams in South Africa. Welcome to the Evetech Champions League. My name is Nathaniel Burning Red Slubbert, and we are back for match day 7. It is going to be an absolute cracker of a day. Joining me at the table, of course, for most of the season thus far, and still will continue into the finals.
Yeah.
We've got Matt on the left-hand side. Thank you very much for coming. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastically. Really excited for these games that we've got today. Had a good week, so yeah, couldn't be more better prepared.
Indeed. I mean, was it kind of like a bit of a chilled week, or any good news from the international stage that you might have?
Well, I've been watching the major, which has been amazing and very entertaining, surprising results there as well. Ents making the 3-0, so definitely been following that closely.
And then the man on my right-hand side, Michael Extremes Harum. So thank you very much for joining once again. From your side, how's your week been? Anything, any news from the right-hand side?
News from the right-hand side. Wow.
Politically speaking.
Yeah, I thought what, politically? We're not going to go there, are we? Well, I mean, it's been a good week of Counter-Strike watching the major. It's been good. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see some of it, doing a little bit of traveling. But hey, you know, thanks to Evetech for the bag. It was pretty nice, pretty sweet, helpful when traveling.
Well, that's exactly the first thing that you told me when you got here. Like, you know that this bag actually works very well for traveling. I was like, really?
No, I needed to take a bit more stuff with me than usual, so, you know. Hey, thanks.
Oh, awesome stuff.
Sponsor plug.
So,
TikTok.
so for the people out there, of course, let's have a quick look at the teams attending in the Evetech Champions League. We obviously have them from left to right in no exact order or any, not even spelling-wise, from the right, alphabetically, yeah. So we've got Big 5 Esports, Gravity Gaming, Energy Esports, Sinister 5, Exastrous Criminals, and of course Goliath Gaming ZA. Now we're obviously at the business end of this tournament, gentlemen. Having a look, let's quickly switch over to the schedule for this weekend and for today, just for the viewers out there, just to understand what sort of games we will be watching. It is the last bit of group stage games. We've got Gravity Gaming versus Energy Esports starting in the next couple of minutes, and then later on at 4 o'clock we've got Sinister 5 versus Team Exastrous. Two of these two teams are on the mid-table at the moment, obviously Energy and Sinister 5. Sinister 5 had a phenomenal weekend.
Yeah.
They beat Big 5 and Goliath Gaming,
weekend, yeah.
the two top teams. They're sitting in the middle table, and then we've got Gravity Gaming and Team Exastrous at the moment sitting at the bottom. So obviously the bottom players, or the bottom teams, would like to try and beat these middle teams to get through into the finals. The top 4 qualify through. Speaking of the top 4, let's have a look at the table. Where are we standing here? Obviously, I haven't really spoken about Goliath and Big 5, but that's tomorrow's game, and you can see they're on the top there. Big 5 Esports and Goliath both winning 3 games and losing 1 each. So back to today's matches. We've got Energy Esports versus Gravity Gaming and Sinister 5 versus Team Exastrous Criminals. And you can see with Gravity, they're a little bit more in contention now to get into that mid-table. Matt, from your side, do you think they can do it?
They need a 2-0 today against Energy if it is going to be realistic for them making the playoffs, and I don't think that that's possible, especially considering, which is something we haven't mentioned today, that they're using a substitute.
Late substitute.
A late substitute coming through. It's going to be DM in place of Crucial. So don't be confused, not DMS, DM, completely different player. He's coming through in place of Crucial, and unfortunately it's such an important game for Gravity and they don't have their full roster, so it's going to be really tough for them. I think Energy should claim that playoff spot over Gravity.
Well, I mean, speaking of it's going to be tougher, they need a 2-0 here against Energy, and that's going to be super difficult to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's pretty much an unrealistic prospect at this point.
So whilst we chat about a couple of, well, this game, of course, and then the game later on, Mike, let's have a quick look at the highlights, of course. What happened last week? I mean, Sinister 5 on fire, beating Goliath Gaming unexpectedly. They were bottom of the log, and they managed to get themselves right back in this tournament.
Well, they beat both of the big names, the Big 5 and the big Goliath. You know, basically, it's you know, the two best teams until this point have been Goliath Gaming, probably as the first Big 5, as the close second.
Yeah.
Which we were going to find out tomorrow as to who's actually going to top the table there. But now, with Sinister 5 coming in and knocking them both over, I think both of them might feel a little bit of a lack of confidence after suddenly ruling the roost and then suddenly being sort of rocked back on their heels.
Having said that, I think it's good for both of those teams as well to be tested. It's not really something that Goliath has experienced so far in this competition. A little bit more so than Big Five, I'd say. They've had a bit of an easier run, but still, both of these teams, they've been brought back down to earth, shown where their weaknesses are, and that's going to allow them to go back to the practice server and grow in those areas that they were struggling. So it's actually a healthy competition for South African Counter-Strike.
How do you sort of work towards your weakness when your weakness is Mistem going ballistic?
Speaking of Mistem going ballistic, I'm actually not going to play the highlights here. I'm going to play the top 5 plays here for the viewers out there. Let's have a quick look and see who performed and what these plays look like.
Divo looking to get aggressive here. Keeps you afloat, Divo. Gonna have some quick shots here to take down Deviant. Able to avoid the flashbang, so he's got the spray down as well. That's the quad for Divo so far in the round. Definitely the only player remaining. He's going to be able to find ADM, the most unlikely person I was actually expecting him to take down, considering the positioning. And it's now on the man and Cunny Ballistic to try and salvage the situation for Energy Esports. One great shot there from the man with the ESG 553, and he finds Shanks as well. Before they can afford to drop around, rather, as they begin their executes into the B bomb site, there is Hakim who's lurking at heaven, and he's going to be able to shut down the plants. Is there a chance he's found 2 frags as well? He's going to be able to pick up the 3rd. Everyone's just trying to cross. Where are the smokes? Where are the flashes? Now the only player remaining as the bomb gets planted.
You hate to see it. A player just gets everything given to him on a plate and only gets 1 out of it. Hakim, though, it's a 1v3. If he gets the second one, this is doable. He does do it, Matt.
Adara, the only player remaining, and there's going to be a smoke onto the bomb here for Hakim as well. He doesn't know exactly where Adara is. He's got the kit to work with, so he could just straight up commit to the defuse, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Adara gets up close.
Oh my word!
The spray. He's not. He got it. What the hell?
He got it,
and he gets the frag as well. Mistem has a job to do on this B-bomb side. He's going to spot the players out initially. He's able to take down Adara. Can he find a multi-kill though? That's the big question. And when
yes, he can.
You can always
what a flash.
Kill the flashbang. Comes through. Mistem. And Mistem, he doesn't even need support. Just give the man a flashbang and he can get the job done by his lonesome.
Mistem the man. Cometh the man, cometh the hour. You said that a couple of times in the broadcast last weekend. So, yeah.
What a player. He stood out head and shoulders above the rest last weekend, and it's actually really exciting considering he's just moved into this team and he's already producing these results. So what's to come heading into Rage and Comic-Con? It's completely blown the door open for those competitions.
Indeed. So now that we've had a quick look at the top 5 plays, let's focus back on this game that's going to be taking place in the next couple of minutes. Energy Sports versus Gravity Gaming. Now, before we quickly cut to one of the player interviews, we're going to have a look at Dweezil again and see what he has to say for the viewers out there, of course. Mike, from your side, I actually wanted to ask you, Energy have lots to do, obviously, against this Gravity team, irrespective, you know. What will ADM be telling his troops going into this match?
I think for them, the main thing is they don't necessarily need to walk away with the biggest possible result. They probably just need to get one map and they're actually through. So it's not too much of an issue for them, I think, to do that. They'll be fairly calm about it, but for ADM as well, he'll be wanting to make sure that his players, as the in-game leader, that they just understand, let's stay calm, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're not actually in the playoffs yet, but we are very close to it. We just need to do what we know to do, play to our systems, we'll be okay. But it's about staying calm, I think, because you don't want to do against Gravity Gaming what some of the other teams this season have done so far, which is kind of think, well, we've got this one in the bag, and then suddenly you're actually chasing the game against them. We've seen some of the other teams get stung big time, like Sinister 5. I mean, they lost against Gravity Gaming. So, and Big 5, there was that half where it looked like the game might actually go the wrong way last week, and thankfully they brought it back. But so Gravity's, they've got the fragging power, they've certainly got it. I'd just be a little bit worried with no Crucial there.
Yeah, I think Crucial's one of the biggest kind of influences in that team. But anyway, let's have a quick look and see what Dweezil had to say. Obviously the rest of the team couldn't make it at the media day because they just came back from Germany. But he was brave enough and strong enough. Let's see what he had to say.
COD player?
My name is Nico Devonport, Dweezil in-game name, and I've been playing Counter-Strike since 2017. I started, and yeah, that's me. I currently play for Energy Esports. I initially started in Ventus Red, then from there we got picked up by Mythic, the same roster, and then we got Taylor and myself got a really cool opportunity to join 3 of the old XDC players, being Panda, Escobert, and Turtle. And then from there, with that lineup, we won VS last year. And then that team unfortunately broke up due to studies or Panda going overseas. And that's left us with the current team, which we built in the beginning of this year. And yeah, we've been really successful with this team and a lot of potential for this team. Germany was really cool. First international event. That's always a highlight of any player's career, I imagine. And yeah, really big learning curve to see how behind we are as a nation, to try catch up and bring what we've learned there, bring it back here and try up the game of everyone, hopefully. Energy Esports is a leading org in South Africa. We have several teams in the top divisions of their respective games. And it wouldn't be possible without our sponsors, which are SteelSeries, LG, MSI, MWeb, and Nexus, where we have our boot camping venue. And yeah, without their support, a lot of this wouldn't be possible.
So anyway, just kind of having a look there at Dweezil. I mean, he was kind of he looked very tired. I won't lie. Like, he was very tired just coming off the plane.
Yeah.
But you know, he actually rocked up at the Syntec Masters.
Oh, he did. Quite a few times. Like, he helped out. He was on the final. He was on some of the group games as well. So very cool to have him on the broadcast. And the fact that he, had just gotten back and he was still keen to talk about Counter-Strike, to impart sort of the knowledge that he learned overseas, because he was very specific on that broadcast about different factors that he'd noticed overseas that they weren't doing as well as the overseas teams, and vice versa. So it was really good to have him.
One of the most interesting things that I picked up on that interview was how he stated how surprised he was, realizing how far behind we are as a nation in Counter-Strike and esports in general. And it's really only one of those things that you can come to terms with when you do go overseas and you do compete against some of the best teams in the world, and you realize how far behind we are. And one of the biggest reasons that is, obviously, is geographically we're just too far away. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of the common viewers actually wouldn't realize why we're so disconnected. And frankly, it's just we're so far away from the rest of the world. We're really isolated. We're almost like this ghost town in the middle of the desert, just left to our own devices with our own community. And it's really tight-knit and everyone knows each other really well, but we don't get exposure to the international scene consistently.
We have got teams now starting to kind of immigrate over into the North American scene, for example.
Yeah, one.
We look at ATK, Bravado, and I'm sure that's going to change now in the near future. We're probably going to see a couple of teams that are going to get the opportunity to go and play a little bit more. Let's look back maybe 2-3 years. 2014, it was like one event. I think it was DreamHack, if I'm not mistaken.
The major,
that Bravado had the opportunity to go and play. Now it's becoming more and more of a kind of a normal thing where teams are going overseas all the time. Yeah. So it's getting there.
It is getting there, but it's still something that you need to be doing consistently throughout the year to actually close that gap.
Yep.
The biggest thing is that playing in South Africa, you don't even realize the mistakes that you're making because you're not being punished for them. So you go overseas and you make the same players that have been working out so well for you consistently in South Africa, and you just get absolutely destroyed. And it's like, now we've got nothing to fall back on. So the main point is you don't even know you're making these mistakes, so you can't fix it. Anyway, it's definitely improving, as you said, and we will get there with time.
I think so. But anyway, for the viewers out there, it is giveaway time, of course. It is a special time for me because I get to showcase the pop socket.
Your favorites.
Which people are making memes of course. But talking about predictions now, first and foremost, I'm going to go into the predictor app quickly on my side here. I've got my predictions for this weekend. As you can see in front of you, I have chosen Energy Sports to beat Gravity Gaming. Obviously, Gravity Gaming taking in the sub now is going to favor me. To get to the predictor game is quite simple. There's an opportunity to win a hamper once a week. Just go to eclpredictor.com. It's hosted by Big 5 Games, not Big 5 Esports, but a company called big5games.com. They do a lot of prediction games with various sports, rugby, cricket, all of the general sports out there, of course. And then the game later on, I've gone for a Sinister 5 for the win for today, and then Goliath for tomorrow. So yeah, what you can actually win I've got in my hand over here, which is a pop socket. Guys are making memes about it. You put it in the back of your phone. There's some instructions on how to do that. And then right in front of the desk here, we've got a little hamper, basically. On the left-hand side, we've got the bag, which you have now, that you can attest to.
Yeah.
Works for traveling.
It is a bag, and it works.
And it works well. Then you've got the carpet, which is this massive, massive mouse pad, pretty much almost a meter in length and quite deep as well. And then, of course, we've got the peripherals provided by Legion Lenovo. Thanks to them, you get the opportunity to actually game really awesomely with the awesome headset and a mouse if you're playing, obviously, on a PC
You
or a
can
laptop.
win this for predicting on ECLpredictor.com. Is that what
Correct.
you're telling me, Nate?
Yes, I'm getting to that. And then, of course, like, you know, on my right-hand side, I've got a decent Lenovo notebook. It's the Y540 from Legion. This thing is a monster, really, and it works very well. And I'm kind of like addicted to it. Like, I don't really play on my PC at home anymore. I just play my games on this thing because it literally performs. And there's been a meme. Talking about memes, though, we'll probably showcase a couple of memes for the viewers out there a little bit later. There's a meme that goes around about laptops or gaming laptops where they've got this really bulky guy and then this really like scrawny guy. And the bulky guy says like, yeah, how they market gaming laptops and how they actually perform is the thin one.
Fair enough.
But in the case of the Legion notebook, I can personally attest that it's not the case of this this notebook. It actually does perform very well. And there's a 144 Hz version as well. So I really want to get that one.
I'll take one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 144 Hz, I mean, think about it. 2 years ago, there was no 144 Hz screens on notebooks.
Not even remotely.
That's like a standard refresh rate now for all the gamers out there. Anyway, so it is veto time, gentlemen.
40.
We've got the
240 Hz.
240 Hz is
Yeah.
like the new benchmark.
Anyway, sorry, yeah.
Veto time.
Awesome, exciting stuff.
So for the viewers out there, just to quickly explain to you how the veto works, team, if they're not good in it, they will ban a map. There are a total of 7 maps here. Either team will ban maps and pick maps which they are good on so that they can try and win the match. Kind of standard to see a nuke disappear.
Yeah, 100%, no surprises there. Especially considering that NG are going against the underdogs Gravity here. They just want to play what they know, not get caught off by any surprises. Gravity going for the train ban. We've seen them play that map a few times, actually.
Yeah, I think maybe they'd be a bit more worried about what Energy can do over there.
Yeah.
Again, we don't have a ton of data on Energy with the player changes that they had mid-season, but
They did used to love that map.
yeah, they did used to love the map, so it stands to reason that they should still be pretty good on it. Maybe best avoided if you're in any doubt, because again,
Yeah, for sure.
against players the caliber of the man and Canny and ADM, I'm just gonna say all 5 of their names. That's at that point. Energy there with the Vertigo ban. That's again just a comfort ban. Don't like to play the map. And we've seen in the major actually how mouse ports will actually play Vertigo. It's such a great ace in the hole to have. It's really, the major's been illustrating to me how important it is to have a wide map pool, which we haven't seen showcased very much by most of the teams in ECL.
Mirage and Inferno incoming.
Yep.
Or Dust, which is our 3rd most popular map, so
Mirage.
you can see that. Yeah, and Mirage
Expected.
isn't a surprise at all. Both of these teams love the map. Everyone in South Africa does, so it's pretty much the staple at this point. And I think that Gravity may go for Dust here. If they take Energy on an Inferno, that might be a bit of a bloodbath.
My theory is we go for Mirage because it's sort of dusty and it reminds people of Joburg. So
Alright, yeah. I mean,
just for the dusty thing.
you are a Joburger.
It's
And
Inferno.
Inferno's the third, the second pick.
Like
so
the weather in Pretoria.
it's interesting that Gravity go for Inferno because it's quite a team-based map. Playing with the substitute, I thought they might have opted for Dust instead.
A little bit of a risk play there, but maybe the stand-in DM, I think that's his name. Maybe he'll actually,
Pretty
he
good
knows
player.
his spot.
I mean, DM's been around for a while. He played in the TCR Rain teams a few years ago. He played in, I think it was Exalted Esports that won DGC last year with Memory. So would actually have a fair bit of
So
experience.
he's
of what
played
he's doing.
with memory.
Yeah, as far as I know. I mean,
means-
maybe my memory's faulty on that one, but usually I'm okay.
If he did, it means obviously they'll probably pair together when it comes to, CT.
I don't know. You're probably just going to slot the guy in into the
like
same
for like.
positions just because they wouldn't have had time to actually do anything. Talking about the lineup there, the change that we're talking about for Gravity Gaming is DM in for Crucial. Crucial's probably been their best player so far this season, so him not being there, I think, actually diminishes them quite a bit, especially considering their team's been built off that teamwork. We look at the names, Puffy, Chappie, Aces, DM, Memory, they've all had great moments. Chappie's been great on the rifle, Puffy's been great with the AWP, Aces with the clutches. At the same time, they do all of those things, but they all score pretty similarly in the fragging stakes, so no Crucial being there as that guy who opens the rounds up on T side, I think could be a big problem.
And also, just for the viewers out there, of course, if you want to see the percentages on predictions against or for these teams, you can actually go to Evetech, their social media on Twitter and Facebook. that should, that should give you at least a decent indication of where kind of people are going.
Yeah.
I think majority of people are going to go for energy sports here.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Tell us about
Unless you're somehow related to Gravity, maybe the mom or the brother, maybe then you back them anyway. Energy, not much introductions required for these guys. Dweezil, ADM, Blaze, the Man, and Kani, fairly household names across the board there. Of course, Dweezil, ADM, and Blaze are the three core members of that team that went overseas. The Man and Kani being the recent additions coming in for Mistem and Raid. And they certainly have looked good after the changes with some immediate success. And yeah, a lot of potential there for them to build on.
Well, I just got the stats through now. 69% in favor of energy sports.
Surprised. Thought it would be an 80-20 sort of game.
Yeah, so, well, it's 69 to 24. 7% of it is obviously on a draw.
Which, if that is the case, Energy qualify for playoffs and Gravity are left out in the cold.
Well, not
Unless
necessarily.
Sinister 5 lose 2-0.
Unless they lose, yeah.
But they're not going to.
They're not going to lose 2-0, no.
Not gonna. Never happen.
So, yeah, talking about predictions quickly, let's talk about score predictions, starting with you, Matt, actually, before I get to Mike. What sort of score would you expect on this first map of Mirage? Bearing in mind, Gravity Gaming aren't bad on Mirage.
Yeah, 100% agreed with you. They've got a pretty decent showing on the map. Energy, we saw when they went up against X-Astrus last weekend, they were pretty aggressive in their approach just because they knew they were the better team. So maybe they get caught off guard here by not respecting Gravity enough. So I think Gravity may be able to sneak in some rounds here. I'm expecting something along the lines of a 16-10.
16-10. Okay. And your side, Mike, how do you paint this picture?
I do not see double digits for Gravity without Crucial, because Crucial has been, sorry, drum roll, crucial to their success on T side on this map, especially on that A bomb side. He's been the guy opening things up for them, and I think without that ability to get the early kills and bring things in their favor, they're really going to struggle on T side. CT side, they've got the skill. I think they'd be okay, but against Energy, maybe not.
Right, gentlemen, it looks like it's live time. Enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys after this match.
Energy Esports with the choice of sides decide to pick the CT side. Gravity Gaming over on the T side. And they're just going to head straight towards the B bomb site. Yeah, we'll expect the tactics to be fairly simple, considering that they do have a stand-in. No Crucial, as we said on the desk, just DM. Well, not just DM, but DM coming in for Crucial. And Energy with the exact same pistol round as we saw in the previous weekend against X-Astrus. Just stacking towards the A bomb site with one player watching the cross. It's going to be Blaze. Last time he was able to find 2 1-taps. This time not finding that success, and he is looking to take the fight here. He's going to go down to Chappie. Nice early frag for Gravity as they take control of the B bomb site, but Chappie getting overly aggressive there is going to get taken down by ADM, so that negates that early one-man advantage as Energy make their way towards the retake. Just biding a bit of time here for Dweezil to get forward on Catwalk. 3 players coming through market, so fairly one-dimensional. Dweezil's going to have an impact here because he's got the players on the side angle as the commencement does come through here. DM, he finds a frag, but still the numbers remain in Energy's favor as the Man finds a quick double, and now it's on Memory's shoulders in the 1 versus 2. Kani's got the kit, but the Man's actually sticking the defuse, the Man without the kit. And now it's going to be Kani to try and make it happen. He's just going to straight up stick it, and Memory is going to clutch it out in the 1 versus 2. He makes it happen, and he gets Gravity Gaming on the board.
Nicely done there in the pistol round. Gravity Gaming actually taking it, which is a little bit of a surprise, I think. But then I think that's the start they needed, Matt. They needed to take it and put themselves in the best possible position. I did say that they might struggle on T-side without Crucial.
Yeah.
Doesn't prove to be an issue so far in their pistol round. But, but at the same time, I mean, pistol rounds are a little bit more random than the buy round, so...
A bit of a miscommunication there from Energy, though, because the Man started sticking the defuse and he didn't have the kit. Kani was covering him and he had the kit. And I think the Man got about 6 seconds into his defuse, perhaps. So if the player with the defuse kit was defusing, Energy may have won that round. Anyway, it was very close. May not have been the case, but certainly a bit of a miscommunication there. Gonna have a full buy here for Gravity, of course, winning that pistol round. Interesting, they've got 3 AKs, a Galil, and a UMP, which is quite an aggressive buy here from them. Going with the 3 AKs here could catch them off guard. Generally, when you have an AK in this round, you're a bit more tentative. Sometimes you just need someone to be that point man with the SMG, and that's exactly what they'll be looking for Aces to be doing. Having said that, he's all the way at the back, so he's going to have to grab the bomb. Seems like Gravity are gravitating towards an A split here. They've already got Chappie and Connector, so he's in a great position. Energy Esports, they've gone for the force here, so they're going to have to try and make it happen with these pistols. Scouts on ADM as well, going to have a job to do as he plays towards CT, land a couple of body shots to bring these pistols in. But Kanye, he drops a late smoke, and that's really going to be making it tough for the players coming through ramp. He lands a nice shot there onto Puffy. Eventually, Chappie's going to come into the equation, but there's just no time here. The man, he takes 2 players down, and now it's on DM and Memory's shoulders with only 12 seconds left on the clock. Eventually, Memory finds 2 frags, but is it too little too late? He gets tagged up by the scout. In fact, the defuse is going to come through just in time. Memory is going absolutely huge. Eventually, Blaze pounces and he finds Memory. Does some damage to DM as well. Only 22 points of health here for DM, so Blaze just has to land one more shot here, and he closes out the clutch, and he does it. What a round from Energy Esports.
Wow, that was unexpected in a lot of ways, but Energy, so good on the pistol so often. We've seen them do it. They do it again, Matt.
Yeah, it just seems to be one of their strengths, consistently picking up these force buy rounds, making it happen here once again. Memory, I thought he had done enough there. He went huge. He got himself a triple kill, but still didn't prove to be enough.
In-game leader leading from the front, 6-1 now on him. A couple of teammates yet to frag, actually. And we see Memory going in, trying to salvage the situation, gets to the double, and then the flank from Blaze undoes them.
Which is actually quite a regular thing, by the way. Blaze enjoys getting that flank if there's no presence towards the B bomb site. So you can try and catch him off guard, maybe just fake towards A, hold the angle in the apartments, wait for him to push forward. But make sure you're always watching out for that flank after taking control. Gravity, they've gone for the force buy here, bar Puffy, who's saving for the AWP. And they're going to be able to trade out the man as they do make their way onto the A bomb site. Bit of a fake towards B from Memory, but that's all it's going to be. And actually, DM, he gets aggressive and he's able to take down Kanye. So all of a sudden, that's a bomb launcher for Gravity.
Yep, the lights have been turned on and the fire's there at his feet for DM. Still actually living there. ADM doing his best to spray him down through the boxes, but he might actually get him, and he does. DM takes him down. They know where the last player is. It's all on Puffy, a 1v3. These 2 players, although they could line up, but unfortunately they're just not quite able to get it across the line as Puffy there. Nice peek from them for one of them to go high, one to go low.
Yeah.
It's really hard to actually transfer the spray diagonally like that.
Agreed. Good attention to detail there. Unfortunately, they don't come off with the round win, but they do quite a bit of economic damage, forcing Energy to rebuy 3 of their weapons. They got the bomb plants as well, so they'll be able to invest a bit more into this round. Get some upgraded pistols and a bit of armor, perhaps, which they previously wouldn't have had. So there's something to work with in this round.
Yeah, Gravity's just going to be looking to do some damage. Similar damage, I guess, to what Energy did to them in that second round that they actually managed to overturn with nothing but pistols. Of course, on T side, it's a little bit harder to pull something like that off unless you catch somebody off guard. And that push from ADM might actually be catching them off guard, in fact.
Yeah.
Very aggressive out of him.
I think this is a clear indication of how Energy Esports are going to be approaching this game. ADM should know that they're going against
so many angles.
He's still pushing so far forward, and that's an AK now for Gravity as they find the first frag, but Blaze with a perfectly timed peek is able to find Chappie and DM. Some relentless aggression here from Energy, even though they're against the pistols. They don't want to give these guys any space to work with. The man is just continuing on his crusade right now. Finds Ace, is eventually going to get taken down by who else but Memory. It is quite expensive. At least it's just been the SMGs bar ADM's AK, which Memory actually has right now. And he's actually going to throw it over the wall. Good decision there from the young man. You don't want to give the Energy players an opportunity to save that weapon.
Memory being spotted there as well, which will tell him in his mind, maybe I shouldn't push forward here. There might be somebody waiting for me. And with the time that he's got left, he could wreak some havoc, but I think Energy might actually have this covered off, depending. It doesn't really matter where he goes, I don't think, unless he lands those body shots. There are 2 players low. So.
Yeah. I like that he throws that smoke towards B, identifying that there's another one on the ground there for him to pick up, so he has another smoke to work with now.
2 players, though, still sticking towards A and Connecty.
Yeah.
Which isn't, well, they're just not going for it, Matt. They're having none of it.
Yeah, Energy playing some proper Counter-Strike there, identifying that they shouldn't be giving him anything more to work with, just getting passive, holding the angle, and waiting for Memory to push forward. That was an important double kill that came through there from Blaze. Who knows what could have happened with that saved AK.
It was weird that the way ADM pushed out there, he didn't consider the angle towards T-spawn at all, which you normally do. You can clear it before you can actually clear the other angles with the way that the doorway works. So it's a little bit of an odd one, but nonetheless doesn't cost them too much other than 2 dead players initially. Gravity Gaming on the buy here, 3-1. 15 rounds aside, for those of you who don't know Counter-Strike. All about getting to 16, because we've got a total of 30. 15 times 2 is 30.
That's it, Mike.
Yeah, wow.
Quick maths.
I just had to think about that a little bit. I've only watched a few thousand Counter-Strike games, but...
That's okay. First full buy round here.
Chappie eats an aid there. It doesn't taste good, despite what your parents might tell you is good for you.
Yeah, green stuff is good for you, right?
No, not grenades.
Not
though.
HE grenades, that's for sure.
I like the jump spot here from Blaze. It's a little bit of a different one. You can see a little bit further back into halls there. The only problem for that, of course, is if you don't spot them on your jump, they can get quite close before your next jump. So, bit of a calculated risk, but it's a nice detail.
Good decision from him as well, because Puffy was actually there with the AWP, holding the angle, waiting for him to jump spot. So, aware of that potential danger is Blaze and diverting it accordingly. Still no lives being lost just yet, as Gravity have made their way towards the A-bomb site. Chappie in middle going to be looking to lurk, try and catch these players off guard as the execute does come through.
Oh, he turns at the wrong moment. Surely he's going to go down, and he does.
Easy frag for the man, and on the back of that Gravity, they have to make their way into this A-bomb site where Energy Esports are focusing all of their resources. Rotations coming through thick and fast as well. Can they at least get a bomb plant here? Not even. The man with the spray down through the box shuts down the planter. And now it's on Puffy and DM's shoulders, and they're locked in the bomb site. They're pretty much guaranteed to be going down here. Don't even have a hope of saving these weapons.
Oh, the man.
Energy not even going to drop a single player as the man gets a quad kill.
Well, makes it look easy as well. Apparently the Aug's been nerfed, is what I've been told.
Has it?
he hasn't heard. They did make it fairly easy for him to, to kind of mitigate it. I don't want him to feel too good about that one, but feel good, but not too good,
Yeah, got to keep him in check, right?
Yep, these FPL players, got to watch out for them getting confident.
Hey, look what the gun that Kani's using. He put a tweet out saying that he's too old to learn new guns, but...
I guess he's giving it a try and an official, the way one should do things.
Or maybe he was just trolling everyone. Maybe he really likes the gun. It's just like, guys, I don't like learning new guns. I'm old. Boom, comes out with the SG and destroys everyone.
Oh, he didn't get the kill there, so I think he thinks it's faulty at this point.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Gravity is there. Execute towards the B bomb site going to be faulty or not. Blaze spots him out. The nades coming through. Should touch down. Does quite a bit of damage there on those 3 players who are pushing forward. He's got some support on Catwalk from Dweezil, and he's just dancing around trying to stay alive. He extends his peak, though, and that means he gets taken down by Puffy. There should be a bomb plant here for Gravity to work with. Aces has got the M4 and armor to work with, so there is some damage potential here for Gravity. Oh man, Puffy just walks straight into the crosshair. That's one of the easier frags that Kani will be getting today. 2 versus 4 for Gravity to try and lock down the post plant, but they immediately get eradicated. And Energy Esports looking pretty hot here.
Yeah, making it look pretty easy. Gravity, of course, didn't have too much to work with, so I think they did well in getting the bomb plant. But still, Energy keeping 4 alive is pretty important for building the economy. Counter-Strike all about the money. Got to build the economy. Costs money. Everything costs money, like real life.
This is true. Let's not forget that both of these teams do still have a glimmer of hope, well, more so Energy than Gravity, of making the playoffs. Energy just need 1 point from this match to secure their playoff berth, whereas Gravity need to win the 2-0 here, securing both points. Obviously, way more likely that Energy will qualify, but there is still hope here for Gravity.
Jeez, this is a lot of utility flying down ramp.
And this is quite an indication, I think, as to what Gravity can expect from Energy. Just a lot of aggression on their CT side.
The bomb isn't far away from ramp either, so if those Energy players decide to actually aggress any further there, they might actually run into them, which would be kind of bad news if you're Gravity. One-way smoke there for Canny.
Yeah. Sometimes we see pop flashes coming over the top of ramp here from the A-bomb site for the CTs. That would allow Kanye to aggress. At the moment, ADM's using his flashes towards middle. That's going to allow Dweezil to peek and just get a bit of information. Aces finds the first frag, but Kanye on this aggressive angle, he's going to be able to take down 2 players, gets a ton of information as well, trades out for the AK, and he's not done there. He's on an absolute tear right now. He's going to continue to push forward, and he takes down DM. Who's going to put a stop to this man? Is anybody able to put a stop to this man right now? Puffy, well, he's going to hope so, but a 1 versus 4 doesn't look likely at this point.
I'm not seeing the hope in his eyes there in the picture, and it fades. ADM takes him down, and he looks pleased with himself.
Yeah, ADM does look quite pleased with himself there. Listen, it's no secret that we've got 2 heavily one-sided matches today with Energy against Gravity, and then afterwards even more so of a one-sided match between Sinister 5 and X Astris. So hypothetically speaking, today might be a bit of a quick one, Mike.
It could be. It could be. You got dinner plans? Maybe we should make some reservations.
Sorry, bro. Booked off by my girlfriend
Oh,
tonight.
jeez.
So.
Oh, wow, Matt. You cut me deep, bro.
Sorry about that, Mike. You need to plan in advance, bro.
Yeah. Don't I know it. Gravity should have planned in advance.
at
No
the buy.
Crucial, yeah. Of course, still.
Yeah, but also Chappie and Aces have gone for the buy, whereas DM Puffy Memory are saving. So really a disconnect there. And this is Energy's map pick. So hopefully Gravity have got something down on Inferno, rather, which will be where we're heading next.
I think this is Gravity's best map, though, but again, against Energy, is it going to work for them? ADM with the opener there.
Oh, check your
The man
corners,
not
Chappie.
checked. Nice reply.
Yeah, that is a pretty good rebuttal there from Memory, but how much more can they do with that is the question. They need a bomb launcher to try and subsidize these two players who have gone for the full investment. A lot of information. As I said, Blaze, he loves to push through the apartments when there's no presence on that side of the map.
Oh.
He's going to catch Puffy off guard though. Immediately takes him down, not wasting any time, nothing fancy. And now it's on Aces and Memory to try and get something out of this round. Like I said, Gravity desperately need a bomb launcher.
Memory and co. Ace is just getting out of ramp there. Canny looking away at the wrong moment, still gets the kill nonetheless. Will he be able to follow it up as well? It is Canny. He'll go for the fight. He'll win it against Memory.
No point in waiting for your teammates when you know you've got the bout down. Looking at the frags, doesn't make for pretty reading right now for Gravity. 8 frags between Chappie, Aces, DM, and Puffy, while Memory sits on 9. So a bit of a slowy 2.0 there.
Does feel like, and that's the in-game leader. He was on 6 by round 2, in fact.
That's true. That's true. He hasn't looked too good in the past 7 rounds either.
Neither has anybody really for
Exactly,
Gravity,
yeah.
unfortunately. 7-1 Energy and a very commanding lead, about to win the half, it almost feels like, especially with the spy from Gravity being as disjointed as it is, man.
Yeah, it really certainly has hampered their chances. Look at what it's done now to those 3 players that saved. They have to save again. And it's a bit of an unfortunate situation. They do have enough util at least to execute into the save bomb side. And Chappie, well, he's going to catch Cunny with his pants down, but still Cunny able to adjust quickly enough. ADM, he just pushes through the smoke, connects on 1, but that's all it's going to be before he goes down. It's now on Cunny's shoulders, and why is this angle not being checked? He's able to take down Aces, but that's all it's going to be. I mean, sure, I thought that they knew Cunny was in that area.
They don't actually pick up the AWP. They don't care because they've got the money for it. So want to keep hold of those AKs recovered off the terrorists.
Of course, this was from the round before the previous round. That double kill there from Kani. And yeah, I mean, that's how relaxed Energy are right now. Not even saving the AWP. It's just pretty much a run-of-the-mill play for them right now, it would appear.
They want to keep the AK-47s. You got that one-shot, headshot kill potential with those that you don't have with any CC weapon aside from the AUG, literally, if you've inserted it into a nostril.
Yeah, this is a good point.
AK, it doesn't really matter the range.
Yeah, 100%. Looks like Gravity are going to execute towards the A-bomb site here once again. This time
Blaze
they've
again.
got some rifles to work with, and Blaze, he's just relentlessly getting aggressive here towards apartments. The man, he shuts down 2 of them instantaneously.
man.
The trade is there though from Puffy, so a 1-man advantage here from Energy is all it's going to be. Gravity, they make their way onto the A-bomb site. Can they secure the plant here at the minimum? Try and turn this into a post-plant and put some pressure onto Energy. Both of these players are grouped up on top of each other. Not ideal. As the flashes start to rain in, at least Puffy has been able to make it back towards ramp. And ADM and Dweezil, they're just going to be waiting at this point. They're just trying to buy some time for Blaze, who's coming through Palace. They've got the kits to work with. They've got a couple smokes as well, so there's no need to be panicking here from Energy's perspective as Blaze starts to make his way forward.
The classic Energy play with Blaze coming in from behind. DM, though, getting the first kill. And they need to actually get him out of this position. They do.
Someone
Puffy
needs to get onto the defuse here. Dweezil is the player tasked with locking down the cover, and the smoke even goes down as well. Puffy knows there's no chance in hell that he is able to win the round, and there we go. Energy with a nice, cool, calm, and collected retake.
Yeah, nicely done out of them. 9-1. That's a commanding lead. And it's still actually pretty early in the game, but it almost feels like the half might be just about done with 9 already on the board here, and only 1 in reply to Gravity. 9 is a fairly typical CT side on Mirage, but I don't think Energy are satisfied with 9. They're definitely going to get more.
Certainly will be looking for more, hoping for more. Honey,
that was
very
fast.
quick with the AWP. He had a good spawn there for the connector shot, and he capitalizes on it. Some potential for him to find another frag as well. That is Aces dancing around the smoke. He's dancing with death right now.
Oh, yeah.
well, makes a wise decision, decides to back off. Does re-aggress though, so he's still towards the top of middle while his teammates are going to be executing here into the B-bomb side. 3 players to try and make it happen. And Gravity exhausting the playbook here. If this doesn't work out for them, I'm not sure what they're going to be reverting to. The only round that they have won so far was the pistol round.
Well, that was cheeky out of Blaze.
Yeah.
Should have had his head instantly removed with the HP that he had. Only ends up on 2. Still gets the kill now, 3v5. Ace is a little bit trigger happy there. Probably needed to hold his fire and try and cover the, catch the player off. I don't think he was seen.
Yeah, and he's going to get caught off here. ADM with the flank. Got the rotation on lockdown as he does take down Aces. And now it's on these remaining 2 players to try and make it happen towards the B-bomb site, but they're running into a brick wall that's named Weasel and Blaze. Don't even get out of the rooms, just get shut down at the choke points. This is Energy asserting their dominance.
Yeah, I like the way Energy are going about it, though. If I look at some of the other teams throughout the season, in Sinister 5 early in the season, what we've seen out of both Goliath and Big 5 at times against the Minnow teams, they'll tend to just run into them and smash into them, whereas what Energy are doing is they're actually getting behind them. They're trying to shoot them in the back, making it easier for themselves rather than just running into them headlong, and sometimes that can play into those Minnow teams' hands.
Speaking of running head on, that's exactly what Gravity doing into the safe bomb site, but again, they're just getting shattered as they make contact. Finally, a frag comes through for DM. There's some potential here considering that Kani has the AWP, may get overwhelmed. The bomb plant's going to come through at the bare minimum as Chappie aggresses into CT. Finally, something to work with here for Gravity as he gains a bit of control, but continues to get aggressive there, which means he's going to offer his life up to Kani. And that now enables the CT as an opportunity for Dweezil to retake, but Memory still getting the work done here, and he's going to be able to close out the round as well as he takes down Dweezil. That was a really nice round from the IGL.
Yeah, taking the responsibility again on his back. Top fragging about 5 of them now, 12. Yeah. He actually single-handedly gets that round for them, I'd say, because in that post plant was still looking pretty good for Energy with the amount of nades they had.
Yeah.
Gravity Gaming pretty restricted on where they could move from on the site, but Memory coming in, remembering what he did in previous rounds, doing it again.
This is true. Just want to touch on a point that you were making about how Energy seems to be approaching this in a decent manner, and it just seems like they're being a little bit more calculated in their aggression. The man uses the smoke as cover, he picks up a double and immediately dashes. All that hard work done by Memory in the previous round, who's still adding to his frag count. Chappie also picks up ADM, so all of a sudden back down to a 3v3 here. Not a bad result, but Weasel up close to the smoke, actually not able to capitalize. I thought that was a frag every day of the week, and it's actually allowed for Chappie to push through Connector, and they've actually got Aces on the A-bomb side as well. Bit of room to work with here for Gravity. Blaze spots out the bomb carrier, though. This could be huge if he's able to find the kill. Is the timing going to be there? No, unfortunately not. The player gets around the corner just in time, so all of a sudden, there is some hope in this round for Gravity. It was a 5 versus 3 at one stage.
If you're Gravity, though, you've got to be thinking, where is Blaze right now?
Yeah, you push tab, you see he's still alive, and you know that you need to cover the flank. Unfortunately, they're still not even able to get the bomb down, which means Blaze has gotten so far forward on this rotation, and he should be able to shut down the bomb planter at the bare minimum, and he does. Memory goes down. It's now on Chappie and Ace's shoulders. 2 versus 3. The bomb's been planted for them, Mike, so there is some hope here.
Definitely some hope. Chappie, one of the players who's been a little bit quiet today after being one of their best players in previous weeks. He needs to do something. Ace has also been quite the clutch master throughout the championship.
That nade? What? Only 3 points of health to his name. Chappie's going to be able to take down Dweezil. It's now on Kani's shoulders in the 1v2. He's got the orb, and he's going to get naded, but still stays alive. He's going to go for the fight, but the double peak there works out for Gravity, and they win the round. This is looking good from Gravity in the past couple.
Very much so. I like that the detail of the nade that he bounced off the corner there. Literally landed in Chappie's, in Canny's back pocket, unfortunately. And he won't be able to sit for a while, which is a sad one. But
may have done some damage.
Yeah, 18 kills on the man at the moment. He's certainly bringing his free-flowing style into this game. He's probably been the most aggressive player so far, and it's been working for him really well.
No surprise there either, right?
Yeah.
Considering that he's been the most aggressive out of the team.
Yeah, I think it's been working for him. I do think if other teams are watching this, perhaps they might be thinking about, how do we maybe neutralize Blaze? Meanwhile, ADM hiding in the smoke here. Is he going to be spotted?
I like his attention to turn away there just to make sure his gun barrel isn't sticking out. Just keeping himself hidden. Waiting to pounce as that smoke dissipates. Flashes are coming through from his teammates as well to give him a bit more support. he is going to pounce and he is going to take down Puffy. Chappie, though, with the reply, making sure that the numbers stay in even proximity here.
Blaze so confident, he pushes all the way off B-bomb site there and catches them in the middle. Man, now under some pressure, gets one. Will he be able to get out of this? ADM needs to probably help him out here. It's still a 2v4, and I think it's going to be a 2v none. We'll make a 4v none.
Yeah, Aces needed to be covering DM then. It looked like they were both looking in the same direction, which is unfortunate, not cross-covering one another. So, Energy get back to winning ways after losing those 2 consecutive rounds. 11-3 as we head into the final round of the half. I'm really excited for playoffs, I must say. I hope that Energy do qualify for the playoffs, which is looking like it's going to be the case right now, just so that we do have the top 4 teams. Nothing from a biased perspective at all, just so that we can really have the most competitive environment possible.
Don't know, Matt. I've seen your Energy clothing.
I've got a Big 5 shirt as well.
Oh, you do?
Keeps me undercover, Mike.
I'm gonna wear my DC shirt. That's, you know, they're not here.
You see, they were competing in the qualifier for the Aces ROG competition at Rage, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the Golden Oldie Tour is back. It's the Rolling Stones, U2.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen.
No one will ever be disappointed to see them compete, that's for sure, as Gravity do make their way aggressively into this B-bomb site. DM leads the charge with the MAC-10. He's able to find Blaze. But other than that, unfortunately, they're dropping like flies. Dweezil dealing the damage along with ADM, though there is still a reply here from Aces, who was able to get deeper into the B-bomb site than his teammates, although he's not aware that Dweezil's on catwalk. I'm not sure how Dweezil already found a frag from that point of view, or that position rather, and now it's on Puffy's shoulders, and well, he doesn't really have any shoulders remaining. 12-3 is the scoreline. Energy Esports dominant.
Nice and easy does it for Energy there. The man on 21-9, the rest of the team pretty close together on the fragging stakes. The other side, all about memory at the top. Nobody else even in a positive KD, unfortunately. And I think what we saw in a lot of rounds there, Matt, was just the communication for Gravity going awry. You pointed out in the second last round where Aces and DM weren't covering each other. And clearly, you know, when you bring in a new player, he might be a good player individually, but where's his comms versus the rest of the team? What are they used to? How are they used to communicating?
That's exactly it. It's not even like his comms are bad. He just doesn't understand how to comm with the team effectively.
Energy, on the other hand, they've had a few weeks now with the new lineup, so they should know what they're on about. Puffy getting aggressive here in the pistol round. Things do reset in the pistol. Dweezil getting in close here towards Connector and actually getting towards the murder hole. He should be able to pick this one up as well. Hail of bullets going through on Aces.
That 20 clip, 20 round clip coming through there for Dweezil, and he's able to take down Puffy a bit easier, and it looks like it's going to be easy sailing here.
Shoot at your teammate, Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny's just shooting at everything right now. Everything that moves he wants to take down. Only 2 players remaining here for Gravity, and it doesn't look like memory is long for this world either. Chappie now on the flank, looking to make something happen. Energy need to keep someone on the bomb site. Can't all go hunting for the frags, and well, it was the patient ones who are going to have a chance to take them down, not the hungry fellhounds who are getting aggressive towards middle. Chappie just racking up some frags here, padding the stats as it would be.
Oh, he gets another one.
Okay, so doing a bit of damage as Chappie. He wants a knife as well. He's waiting for somebody to push through the smoke. He doesn't have a kit, unfortunately. Not that there was any time towards the end there, but still doing a bit of damage at least, making sure that Energy aren't going to have that armor to take into the next round.
Yeah, nicely done from him.
But I love this pistol round, I must say. Smoking off Connector and getting aggressive into towards jungle.
I think it's a good shot to go for that, just because with the Glocks you're going to be able to get in close towards some players there. It'll be a little bit of a disadvantage. You've got more bullets, of course, so you can send more downrange. And, of course, downrange is really close when you're in there.
And if you can take Sniper's control and jungle control away from the CTs, it makes the retake really difficult as well. So
it's called murder hole for a reason.
Yeah, lots of positives there for Energy. Full save here for Gravity. Of course, they will commit to the buy in the next round to try and keep themselves in contention of winning this map. The man aware of the flank possibility.
You see him?
He's looking at his phone. The man's not focusing on his screen right now. Thankfully for him, neither was Puffy.
Jeez.
Just a Mexican standoff there between the two of them.
Panic on both sides, and thankfully the bigger gun, the armor actually wins out at the end. That's how it's supposed to work. Dweezil getting down Chappie as well. We see Blaze following up towards the A-bomb side. This is pretty much done in this round for Gravity Gaming.
As we expected, though, they didn't really have that much to work with. Only memory remaining, and he may only be a memory at this point.
He looks very serious, like he's in an emo band or something, don't you think?
like 2001
Yeah,
sort of thing.
needs a red tie to go with the black shirt, you know.
Yeah, and a bit of eyeliner or something maybe.
Sorry, mate, we're making a bit of fun of you, but that's all in good fun. I don't think Gravity are having fun, though, at 14-3. They desperately need to get back in this game. I'd expect to see them buy out with the save coming in the last round, so looks like we are maybe on a pause as well. So I'd assume they would. They don't have the room to negotiate things yet. They have to kind of go for it because there's no overtime. You can't actually win the game if you're allowed to go to 15. You can only draw it.
Could play for the draw indeed, but I'm not sure if that's really in the realm of possibility at this point. I'd be surprised if Gravity didn't fully invest in this round.
I think this also does just show, I mean, aside from the fact that they're playing without Crucial and they're playing with DM, I do think it's maybe not a great thing for teams that are outside of their top 4 to make something like Mirage a home map, just because you're going to be playing into the strengths of the best teams in South Africa. You really should try and add like an Overpass or a Dust 2 or a Vert, you know, whatever, just something that isn't Inferno, Mirage and Train.
Yeah. No, I do think that's a great point, and I'd like to see South African teams expanding their map pool, and even the top 4 teams. Imagine, for example, one of the top 4 teams become really well acquainted on Nuke and Vertigo, and then they just force their opponent's hand every single time to ban those maps, whereas they have the luxury of banning their opponent's strongest maps.
Yeah, I think you've got to get yourself to the place, looking at the way things have played out this year in SA, that you could actually even ban a Mirage if you wanted to.
Exactly. That's the point I'm making here. Imagine Goliath, they're good on Vertigo, so they can take Mirage away from Big 5. And it's like, all right, now what do we fall back on? Oh, they banned Inferno as well. What's going on here? Nuke is in the map pool all of a sudden. So I really hope that we do get to that point where teams start to expand their map pools. I don't actually think that I've casted an official of Vertigo on South African soil yet.
How many did we do in ESL? It was probably like 4 or 5.
At least they played it quite regularly.
And that was at the earlier evolution of the map as well. So it's actually a better map. I still don't think it's a great map, but it's certainly playable. And I do think if you're a team that doesn't maybe have the skill of a Goliath Gaming or a Sinister 5 now, it's definitely worth trying to make sure you have something else in your wheelhouse so you can kind of equalize matters in your favor. Yeah,
even Nuke as well. Just learn some basic smokes and basic executes. Learn the wall of smokes outside. Learn how to throw the pop flashes into a bomb site from the T-spawn. It's not that difficult. Spend a few hours on a practice server and all of a sudden you've got some things to work with. Anyway, technical pause is over, and look at Energy. They've just put pedal to the metal. All 5 players pushing straight into this B bomb site. Flashes over the top as you make your way into the door, and no time being wasted here. They get greeted by a hail of bullets. Chappie, he's able to take down 2 players. Eventually the trade comes through from Dweezil, and that's going to enable his teammate
this is big from Aces.
Some work done. Finds himself one now, trying to get above the smoke. Puffy, he comes into the equation as well, and Gravity Gaming get themselves on the board here in the second half.
Do you think Chappie was shouting at Aces there? Please shoot them, please shoot them.
Just do something, you know, have an impact. And Aces had a plan. Positive baiting there. You see, sometimes baiting is a good thing, Mike.
Yes, indeed. Well, nicely done, Jan. I guess Energy, as you say, trying to close it out quickly, but of course, Gravity still have the skill that they can deal with you pretty handily if you make it easy for them.
And that's exactly why I said there's potential for Gravity to reach double digits here, because what I saw from Energy against Exastrus was that they were pretty confident in that matchup from the first round. So thought maybe that disrespect might be there once again. But Energy have been slightly more conservative in their approach here against Gravity than they were against Exastrus. Kani, with a nice spot there on the top of the smoke, is going to be able to take down Aces. Of course, they don't have the luxury of the X-ray like we do. They can't see the outlining of the players, even though sometimes it feels like they can, where they get that crosshair placement down, as Puffy just did there onto Dweezil. Trade there, though, from Blaze, which means that there is still a one-man advantage here from Energy, or for Energy, rather.
I think that would have been a very successful play out of Puffy had he had more players on his team than alive at that point.
Some support, maybe. Maybe someone in Connector watching the lowers push, I suppose, would make sense.
Yeah, that's the pretty basic thing when you go for that sort of play. But, of course, with them losing a player towards B, that meant Chappie had to pull back off Catwalk and actually cover in B. And that just made Puffy's efforts a little bit more futile than they would have otherwise been. Hey, I got a kill, guys. Oh, sorry, I died, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't really justify the push, does it? As Energy are starting to push onto this B bomb site. But Gravity, they're in a pretty good position to defend this with all 3 players in the vicinity. Ooh. But still, they're just getting picked apart left, right, and center. Even though DM gets a frag, it gives his position away, and he's going to get shut down momentarily here by Blaze. 15-4 is the scoreline. Energy Esports looking to close this one out swiftly.
Yeah, indeed. That SG553 is the most brutal looking gun when it lands a headshot
It really
compared
is.
to anything else. It's like,
Even as a spectator, you feel that. It's like, ouch, that one hurt.
that's really a precision weapon in the right hands, and I would say that the man in ADM are probably the right hands. Blaze too. Although he doesn't have to shoot them in the face, he shoots them in the back, right?
Yeah, because he's a clever player. Blaze is certainly one of the players who has been using it for a bit longer than the rest of them, the man as well. But people are slowly catching on, Mike. Slowly.
I feel like your awareness campaign on Twitter's really helped. Gravity, though.
I hope so.
Oh, they're going to be aware of this potential side take, but I don't know if Energy going to commit. Looks like they are actually going to commit.
Yeah. Barely anything to work with here for Gravity to defend this map point as Energy make their way onto the A-bomb site, and they're a powerful force as they lead forward. Weasel takes down the first, and it's pretty much easy pickings here across the board for Energy, just pushing into these pistols. There is going to be a couple rifles on these remaining players though, so some potential for Gravity to keep themselves in the contest. It's on DM and Ace's shoulders.
Some potential, but not much. Only got the two flashes to work with, as you said. The man on the angle, though, you feel like he's going to swing at some point when he gets the call from his teammates.
And there we go. As you said, he does take a different angle, finds Aces. Blaze takes down DM. Energy Esports, well, I think they've all but secured their playoff berth now after winning that map. They secure a point in this match. That takes them to 5, which I think is an unassailable lead.
Yeah, that's a 16-4. I kind of wasn't going for that sort of scoreline. Mike, you were definitely. From
Just saying, I'm going to be smug now, you know, just boss.
You got to rub it in a little bit, yeah?
A little bit, you know, it's like Vicks Vapor Rub, you've got to rub it in
no one can blame you.
And you get the smell that comes out, you know, just reminds you.
I mean, it's actually quite rare that we make accurate predictions here, so I'm not blaming you for getting a bit proud of yourself.
I don't think that was a hard prediction to make.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you look at just not having Crucial, I think was actually something I was highlighting before the game, and when we went over to the actual T side there for them, they really had nothing.
Yeah.
They needed those early entries, and they just were not getting them, unfortunately. I think DM's a great player, but sort of being substituted into a team quite late against the team the caliber of Energy Esports.
I was going to say, talk about trial by fire.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, for example, you know, you kind of explain there where it's gone wrong for Gravity. Do you feel like it's the same issue, you know, from your side, Matt? Do you think that was clearly the reason why they didn't do so well?
What, that they didn't have Crucial and that was just the big letdown? Yeah, I think that made a huge difference. He's also the entry fragger, the point man. When you're lacking that, it's who's going to step up, who's going to take the responsibility, who's going to actually get that job done for us, and it didn't really look like there was anyone accustomed.
You need that no hesitation player who's going to go in, and the rest of the guys would be used to trading off someone, so now suddenly you have to run in first. Maybe you don't know the angles. In some teams, the way they'll practice hitting a site is you'll actually have specific running lines, areas that you'll cover off, and the rest of your teammates will look at their areas, that you don't actually end up both looking at the same spot and getting shot from somewhere else. That's just a basic thing with entry fragging. So
don't you think maybe, like, I mean, it's also kind of a mixture of Energy doing really well there, like knowing that they're playing with a sub and just completely going flat out against the Gravity team?
I think they were at like 90%. There was some calculated aggression there from Energy, which I was actually really happy to see, that it wasn't just, oh, we're better than these guys, we're going to run into them and break them down. It was actually, okay, let's just flash for each other and make sure that there is some support structure in the aggression that we're going to be putting out there. So, yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a tough game playing against Energy, of course. So, yeah, I think Energy did play really well today.
Well, I think the second map hopefully will be a little bit better for the Gravity side. I mean, I'm kind of hoping the underdogs take a...
It was good quality Counter-Strike, though, from Energy's perspective still.
Yes, it was clean. It was clinical.
Agreed. That's my main point here. So. Even though they're playing against a team who they will still certainly favor themselves, there was still that element of calculation?
Yes,
calculativeness or something along those lines. Anyway, I think we should go to a break.
Yeah, well, just before we go to the break, for the viewers out there, please take note of our social media. Of course, go to Evetech. You can go to the Facebook and Twitter, and then there's a great little hamper that we're actually giving away just on the bottom here. You'll see the hamper there. It's a nice, awesome bag. There is, of course, a massive mouse pad, etc., and the pop socket. And talking about memes, of course, that's the social media challenge that we've got. There is a meme challenge that we had this weekend. We will announce the winner tomorrow, and then also announce the new meme challenge for the finals. So
another one.
This is the actual challenge that we currently have running. You still have chance to enter because we'll calculate who the winner will be for tomorrow. It is Send Your Dankers memes featuring our panelists and the Evetech pop socket on Twitter, and stand a chance and win an Evetech and Lenovo hamper. You obviously need to tag Evetech and Lenovo Africa and hashtag ECL 2019. And from my side, maybe just the hashtag join the Legion, because I mean that's kind of the hashtag that goes. There's a couple actually. There's also the stylish on the inside, savage on the outside as well from Lenovo.
Yeah, I like that. That was quite
Pretty
powerful.
Yeah, of course, Lenovo peripherals included in the hamper. And more than one way to win. You can also predict on ECLpredictor.com.
Yep, so there's two ways. Definitely the social way and then the predictor way, ECLpredictor.com. We're going to go to a quick advert break on our side, and we'll catch you guys for Map 2 between Energy Esports and Gravity Gaming. And we are back for map 2 here between Energy Sports and Gravity Gaming. Gentlemen, it has been a quick and simple win there for the Energy Sports team.
Yeah.
Walking away with a 16-4 there. Hopefully we'll see something a little bit better now on the next map, Inferno. I think, like you said, Matt, it was a little bit more of a team-orientated map. And the fact that Gravity Gaming is playing with a sub might actually work quite a bit against them.
Yeah, that's exactly why I was expecting them to go for the Dust 2 pick, but they've gone for Inferno, so hopefully there's some method behind the madness. I know Energy really loves that map, so I really hope there's some method behind the madness, otherwise we're going to be seeing something similar to what we just saw on Mirage.
Could it just be madness?
It could just be madness.
Well, Mike, the question for you is what should Gravity Gaming do in order to at least stand a chance in this map?
Come back next season and give it another shot.
Yeah,
That's a bit brutal, but anyway.
No, it's I'm joking, but I'm also not in a way, because every joke has a hint of truth to it. And in this one, I think they had some great chances this season, especially with that early win over Sinister 5. They set themselves up really well, and they just weren't able to close out a few other games where they had good halves, but they didn't manage to get a good second half to actually win the game. So I think they've had great opportunities. They've shown great signs. I've been actually very proud of the boys, watching their progress.
Likewise.
Yeah, you have to look back at that loss to X-Astra, sorry to interrupt you there. That they've won the first map 16-1, and then they had an 11-4 lead on Dust, which they then lost 16-14. That's the point right there, where they dropped a point, and I think that's probably what cost them the chances of making the playoffs.
Pretty much made it easier, of course, for Sinister 5 to walk into the top 4.
And again, Sinister 5, it's against all expectations that they could have beaten Big 5 and Goliath in the same weekend. It almost looks as one of those things that shouldn't have happened. So Gravity, if they'd beaten X-Astras, they would have thought, we're in the playoffs, boys. Because you're not going to think that Sinister 5 with one player change are going to suddenly be better than the 2 best teams in South Africa.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm waiting for a little bit of a jack in the box here. So I'm kind of going with maybe they'll just pull one off, just to win here, just to draw it.
This is their last map of Season 3, right?
Correct.
Because they now are out of playoff contention. So they're just going to give it the kitchen sink.
I will say to both of you guys, no.
I'm not saying that there's any hope. I'm just saying they're going to give it their absolute all.
You know
maybe they could inflict some.
Why I would say no? Again, the player change hurts them, but mostly ADM on this map with that AWP is so good.
Yeah.
Like he's probably he is, to me, aside from Detrini, the best AWPer on this map in SA.
On the CT side in particular, yeah.
Just moves around, gets super aggressive, gets away with a lot that he shouldn't get away with, and gets those kills.
But you see, that point you just made, that's what I was referring to earlier at the start of the broadcast on why we struggle so much to compete internationally, because he can make those sorts of plays here against teams like Gravity. Then he goes over and he plays against Greyhound, and he just doesn't have that sort of dominance to assert over his opponent. So yeah, it's great, but looking at the broader scheme of things, you need to make sure that you're making these calculated plays which can work out for you consistently.
Look, I'm going to bring a good old age tradition back that I used to do.
An old age tradition?
Yeah, it's an old.
You mean an age-old tradition?
No, I'm going to call it the old age tradition. No, yeah, you're right. It's an old
like
tradition that
we
used to do back at ESL 2017, and that is hashtag believe.
Oh,
maybe.
God.
Oh, no.
Thought we had left that one behind.
No. It's always going to be there.
Well, we're leaving you behind, Nate. As we jump straight into the second map here, Inferno is going to be the battleground for both of these teams. Energy once again starting on the CT side. So they've got that luxury behind them.
And a lot of aggression here in apps from the man. He should be able to find himself an angle to get this first kill, and he does. So crispy, so easy.
Yeah, normally you just jump across the window to spot for some information and see if there's anybody pushing up second mid. You don't continue to take the fight, and continuing to take the fight is going to lead to his demise, and it's actually opened up quite a lot of the map, and that allows Chappie to catch ADM off guard. Way too much aggression there from the man after he found that first frag, but the round is not set and done by any stretch of the imagination. Still a 3 versus 3 here as Gravity plant the bomb.
Got the kid on Dweezil as well, which is certainly going to help their prospects of putting this retake quite significantly. Coming from middle, the other 2 players coming from Archers and Library side. In memory, actually sitting pretty far back here, so he could be the sting in the tail, Matt.
Yeah, he's being very passive in his approach just to try and make sure that there is some insurance in the round here from Gravity's perspective. The Energy starts to make their way forward. The flashbang doesn't connect on Puffy, which means he's able to find the frag with Blaze. He trades instantly, and Puffy does eventually go down to Dweezil. Remember, Dweezil does still have that kit to work with, but Memory, they don't realize that it's actually not planted on default. That allows Memory to stay alive that much longer. He's actually just tapping away. He's going to go straight to take down Dweezil. Blaze isn't able to cover him. And Gravity, they win the T-side pistol round again.
Again? Jeez. What on earth were Energy doing there? It just seemed like the communication was completely broken apart. If they'd gotten on that defuse way earlier before those players were actually low, would have been a very easy round. But instead, with 4 HP there on Dweezil, he's not able to stick the defuse, and Blaze not able to cover him.
And he had to defuse with his back towards Blaze, towards Memory, whereas if he had a bit more time, he may have been able to push forward into the corner, turn himself around, and just be a little bit more covered. Anyway, Gravity again winning the pistol round. Can they follow it up with a second round win here and shut down Energy's Force Buy? They weren't able to do it on Mirage. And Inferno arguably is actually a more difficult map to play against the Force Buy as the T side.
I think we kind of saw the complete opposite in that round out of what compared to before. You know, we were talking about Energy's aggression being calculated and them doing the right thing rather than going for the aggressive plays there. The man doing way too much. Blaze getting punished in this particular round.
Wow.
But meanwhile, Kenny, doesn't matter, just clotheslines them with this easy. I thought it had been nerfed.
Both of them were tagged up by ADM scouts as well. So a ton of work there between the two of them. And now Gravity, their hand gets forced. They have to push into this A bomb side. All the information's there for Energy. And they are going forward. But the man, he catches Chappie off guard. He's still alive and kicking. Eventually, he's going to get taken down. Memory dealing the damage with the AK here. 2 versus 2 is the result. ADM desperately needs Kani to come into the equation here. Oh, that...
What? He hit him through the wall.
Through everything. What did we just witness?
The wall and the box, I think it was.
Okay, ADM, that's fine. That's not how Counter-Strike is played, but that's fine. Kani is left in the 1 versus 1 now. He's trying to figure out exactly where Memory is. He seems to be convinced that he is on the bomb side, and he would be absolutely correct. The UMP against the AK. You'd expect the AK to win it up, but it is Kani, and he has got crazy potential, but he's going to go down. Inflicts a lot of damage, but still not enough.
Well, craziness ensuing in that round. I'd love to see a replay of that shot out of ADM.
You and me both.
I don't... That was speculative at best. He lands the craziest headshot possible there. Did almost make it possible for Kenny to come in and win the retake, but Memory very patient in the post plants. You'd almost think with the player sort of turtling like that in the site that it might go badly for him, but he uses the height to his advantage, just runs down the clock for long enough. And actually Energy going for another force here.
Yeah.
Blaze getting a bit too aggressive, but DM and Memory both pretty low. This could still work for Energy.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea for Energy to go for the Force Buy here. They're able to get some SMGs and a bit of util to work with, knowing that they did so much damage to Gravity's economy in the previous round. If they can, by chance, win this one, they certainly would be capitalizing on that damage that was dealt. And Chappie hasn't been spotted here, so he's got so much information to work with. He could get the backstab here onto ADM as well. Doesn't even need the backstab. It's going to catch him scoping in, so that's certainly an easy frag. And that makes things very difficult now for Dweezil, who's rooted in ditch. He's going to be able to take down Puffy, but completely blinded up, stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's going to get crushed.
Yeah, it wasn't going to work for him in the end after he was spotted out. Now on Kenny, long range with an MP9, manages to pull out the kill. Oh no, Matt, he's got a CZ.
And DM and Memory are very low, only 23 points of health between the two of them. So there is some potential here for these remaining 2 Energy players. They don't have a kit. That is certainly going to be hindering their chances.
I don't think they'll know how low these players are either, and with no kit, you'd almost think that they'll probably just try and get a kill and then back off.
It doesn't seem like they're going to be committing to this one, considering that they went for the Force Buy as well. They definitely want to take some weapons into the next round. That AK, it's valuable right now, Kani. You're carrying the treasure. You don't want to be losing the gold. And he is able to at least find Chappie, who's departing. The man trying to shut down one of those players as well. He's actually going to commit here. Surely they're hearing the footsteps as he charges forward. He's actually going to be able to take down Memory. DM, the sole survivor for Gravity, lives to tell the tale in which they won the round. So impressive here from Gravity, and it's actually going to force Energy to go for another buy round here. This could actually start to spiral out of control.
Yeah, Energy very tempted to go for these, and I guess why not? They've managed to bring Gravity pretty low in terms of player numbers each round, but the thing again is you do need better weaponry to enable your CT side. They've only got 3 rifles, yeah? Might still be enough. This is so aggressive out of ADM.
Flames spread, and that means that Aces gets forced out of position. The thing is that where do you draw the line from Energy's perspective? Where do you stop force buying even though you're doing damage in the round? It's sometimes, like I said, you can spiral out of control in those situations. At least they have been able to muster up 3 rifles in the round. ADM got taken down, which means there's only 2 remaining, but lots of damage potential here for Energy. My biggest problem with consistently going for these force buys is that you need utility, especially on the CT side, and they're heavily lacking that util in these rounds in which they're going for the force buy. However, it seems like they may be able to make it work with the weaponry alone. Chappie with the AWP, the lone scoped weapon on the server right now. 14 points of health to his name.
He's been a pretty competent AWPer, even though he isn't a primary AWPer. We've seen him do some good work on the CT sides for Gravity Gaming at times. So let's see if he can find an opening for them. The problem he has with 45 seconds left, they've got all the utility, but they still don't have the numbers, and Chappie is bleeding out. So he's not going to take much to put him down. Spread out as well across the map, which does make things a little easier for these CT defenders.
Yeah, it certainly does indeed. Gravity, they're going to have to commit to something here as the clock starts to wind down. Only 23 seconds remaining in the round. And it looks like it will be the A bomb site. I'm not sure if they're going to even have the luxury of waiting for the smoke. They may have to push through it. It's taken so long. The man is waiting in position. Actually, nice trade there from Memory. Going to opt to upgrade for the AWP as well. DM times his peak perfectly as he takes down Dweezil. All of a sudden, Gravity, they're going to be planting the bomb onto this A bomb site. Oh man, Memory takes down Cunning as well with the AWP. It's now on Blaze's shoulders, and Gravity Gaming, they're getting themselves some rounds here on the T side. Let's not forget how far they pushed Big 5 on this map, especially on their T side in the previous week. So they certainly do have some ingredients to work with here, even though the stand-in is in the equation right now. Blaze leading forward.
Blaze!
He's going to be able to take down both of those players. Single-handedly dismantled the setup. Normally such a difficult retake to make happen in a 1 versus X situation. There's so many angles to cover, and he takes down both of them.
Yeah, you were just talking about DM, the sub there, ends up to be looking in completely the wrong direction. Nobody covering off lane. And nice and easy does it for Blaze in the end. Finds the headshot on Memory. And it did look like in that round, Energy had it on lockdown. Gravity Gaming doing a great job to actually turn things around. And then, well, that was just a bit of an odd post plant. They weren't covering each other. They weren't really, again, maybe the communication issue could have reared its ugly head there, Matt.
Seemed like they got a bit impatient as well, just as the clock was ticking down, and that presented the opportunity for Blaze. And he absolutely grabbed it with both hands. Head into another buy round here. A bit more of a force buy from Gravity's perspective. An AK, but that's the lone rifle they have to work with. They're going to go for the pop flash through the smoke. Blaze takes down 2 of them before he goes down. Now the man is the next line of defense. He drops a smoke of his own. It seems like Gravity are hell-bent on getting aggressive here. Oh man, the man is the man right now. He's going to get a spray down through the smoke. He is certainly feeling confident. Great crosshair placement and preempting of the boost. He's going to be able to shut down the round here as he takes down Puffy. And that was an impressive triple kill there. Left to his own devices and still coming out on top. Impressive.
Yeah, I think he's a player that's very used to doing things on his own, being, as we've seen him do so well in local Faceit Pro League and the Diamond League. So I think that's what it's called, right? Was it Platinum? I don't know. I'm never sure which one's more valuable. But anyway,
it's been changed a few times, but he's at the top level.
He's at the top level, and he's won it a few times. So, you know, in those sorts of situations, obviously you have teammates, but it is about your individual stats and how you're able to handle yourself individually. So, slotting a player like that into a team is pretty helpful, and we see him go to work on his own, as you said.
Yeah.
Under a lot of pressure there, but knows the angle super well. And I really thought Puffy was going to wide swing him here while he was reloading, because you have the audio cue, but he didn't.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about the flash. It did connect, but he pushed way too soon for the flash to actually have an impact on the round. What I really liked there from the man was after finding that first frag, he knew there had to be a second there as well, considering it was the boost that came through. So just going for the straight up spray through the smoke yields him another frag. And yeah, he certainly has got a very good game sense, and that just comes sheerly from the amount of hours that he's played this game.
So many hours. I mean, he's been playing for years as well, and he's still a young man. So
you end up just encountering similar situations throughout your different games, and it really just allows you to build this sort of game sense and this play style, which you then, well, you're a little bit more familiar with these situations when they rear their heads up. Pistols. He's kind of getting aggressive now down middle. He's got these pistols to contend with. Makes a bit of a meal of that first frag. Energy super aggressive here in their anti-eco round.
Kenny getting away with it as well. Unfortunately, these players, aside from Puffy, don't actually have any armor to work with. Puffy's already down. It's only on DM, the substitute. And unfortunately, aside from the first kill, he's not going to be able to get any more out of it.
Yeah, I think DM stands for dead man.
I don't think that was his intention, Matt.
Yeah, sometimes you don't really get to choose your fate, Mike.
This is also true. Very seldom do we. That's a very existential question, man.
It was a statement.
Oh, okay. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, this is quite a statement from Energy, getting super aggressive like that in their anti-eco round.
I think finally with the economic game being won, I think, by energy after so many force buys from both teams. Kind of stabilized things. We are at 3 all, very fast out of gravity, and actually Dweezil popping that molly at the right time. They're running through it, Matt. They're actually taking a ton of damage.
Yeah, they did take a huge amount of damage. That brings the one tap into the equation now for the AM4, but Dweezil, he doesn't even need the one tap. Still just puts that MP9 to great use in the close quarter. Jeez, like the man, he is on an absolute tear right now. Eventually he's going to get taken down through the smoke by Memory, and all of a sudden a one-man advantage of gravity, though. As I say, that ADM does find Chappie, which means we're down to the 1v1.
Both low.
Both the IGLs against each other. Who's got the biggest brain right now? Seems like Memory is going to be trying to rotate out of the A bomb site. There's so much time left on the clock, but they're going to be walking into one another.
Overthinking
the timing works out for him perfectly. Oh my word! That's one of my favorite things about this game. Is that timing is such a massive element, and it just those split seconds make such a big difference.
Nice heads-up play out of the man to drop the smoke, stop the player that he can hear running in apps from pushing him, gets the 2 kills, nearly gets the 3rd, actually gets sprayed down in the smoke as well, but again, showing his individual prowess, and he knows what to do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the 2 in-game leaders didn't seem to know what to do. They almost backed into each other, man.
That was quite funny.
As you said, it's just one of those things in Counter-Strike, timing. You can look at an angle for 45 seconds, and the instant you turn, a guy walks out and shoots you. It's just...
That's the name of the game, man.
Oh, so frustrating when it happens, though.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's how it is, hey?
Everybody who plays Counter-Strike is a love-hate relationship. We love this game.
Oh, the man, he's
and we hate it in equal measure.
Now. Triple kill spray down on the precipice of the smoke. Another smoke coming through, but Blaze was able to spot Memory out just before it bloomed. 5-3 is the scoreline. I think this is actually the most competitive that the South African scene has been so far in 2019.
Didn't feel very competitive in the early stages of the year, I think, but again, also very tough to go on that because you know, a lot of it was broadcast, so you can just look at results on a sheet and go,
That's true.
You know, you can't really glean a lot from that. But from what we have seen, it really did look like Goliath and Big Five probably had a little gap over themselves and everyone else. But with Sinister Five's introduction of Mistim, suddenly they're looking like they could potentially be the best team. The only thing is, you don't really want your team to live and die based on one player, though.
Yeah, definitely not. Having said that, his team was setting him up phenomenally across the board. So they really were enabling him to play so well. And Chappie,
how did he get in here?
Able to get into archers completely undetected. That's an auto sniper on the ground, and Puffy's able to find the man as well, which means Dweezil's the only player on the A bomb site. So many angles to try and cover. He's able to spot the first player out. He's going to use the smoke as cover.
Dweezil
forward. Really good play there from Dweezil. He takes down Memory. He backs off the A bomb site. Eventually, he gets taken down by Chappie. Had Chappie not been coming through from archers, Dweezil could have continued on his reign of terror. Eventually, the reign does come to an end, though. 2 versus 3 is the result as the dust settles.
These players, again, quite low. I don't know how aware Energy might be of it, but is it going to matter with ADM going down? Is Blaze really going to push this 1-1 forward? And he does, actually. Might have been worth hanging on to that. They've only, well, they've got 2 players with money, but, you know, at the same time, the economic game has been pretty decisive in who gets to win rounds here, so...
This was a quick heads-up thinking play from Dweezil. Using the smoke really well.
And if he'd got that 3rd, I think it would have been the round for Energy.
Yeah, I think so as well. Chappie was huge in that round for his team, wasn't he? Finding Cunny and then taking down Dweezil as well. So Gravity, they get themselves back to winning ways here after winning the first 3 rounds of the map.
So it's crazy when you see a player with 9,300 like ADM had, and in this round he's already down to 1,900. So expensive on the CT side, as it turns out. And maybe then at that 3v2 they needed a save. Meanwhile, ADM is not interested in saving anything. He's laying it all down on the battlefield.
And this is exactly what you expect from Energy, just constantly reaggressing across the map, not giving Gravity any room for free. And even when you think you have taken map control as Gravity, Energy will still contest somewhere along the line.
Different approach out of Energy on this map, though. We were kind of praising them for the more restrained approach on Mirage.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that as well.
Here, they're kind of turning on the afterburners. They seem to want to get it done quickly, and it's kind of helped Gravity in a few rounds here so far. So
it's actually why I thought Gravity may be able to find something along the lines of double digits in the previous map. This is sort of the playstyle that I had in mind when I made that call. Energy just constantly being aggressive. See another flash coming through, and this time though, Aces is using the half wall as cover, making sure he doesn't get blinded up. Chappie's got the angle in middle. Why is the man pushing forward there? Suppose he's trying to get a bit of information, but still it was a 4 versus 4. You could just split 2-2 on either bomb site. Now it's a 1-man advantage for Gravity. The world is their oyster at this stage, and it looks like they're going to choose the A bomb site.
Cannibalistic's going to need to come in here and help out Dweezil, otherwise Dweezil is almost certainly instantly dead. And instantly dead is what he is. Can he get one? Surely not going to get much more out of this one. This could be another round here.
This should be another round here. Energy Esports, they had the one-man advantage. I'm not sure why they decided to go for that pop flash towards the top of Banana. The only reason I have in my mind is aggression, dominance.
Get more kills.
Confidence, yeah, which is not the best decision. Sometimes can lead to your demise. Anyway, ADM, I'm not sure if he's going to have a crack at this or just try and do a bit of economic damage. I'd expect it would be the latter. Memory and ace is fairly low. They can't hang around in the bomb site. Even once the explosion goes off. ADM's going to spot his head out there and take him down. So while we have a quick couple of seconds, just referring back to the major, the first game of the day was Navi versus MIBR. And Navi were able to pick that up 2-0. So that means that they then go 2-2. Do Navi and MIBR get eliminated, which means they will be playing in the NA Minor coming up in a couple of months.
Yeah, Brazil not working out for them, unfortunately.
And the Vanguard are pushing G2. It's 1-1 at the moment, and they lead 13-6 on Overpass. So.
Did you see how good Vanguard were against Team Liquid yesterday? That OT was insane. In fact, there were some insane games yesterday. Astralis versus NRG. That train was champagne Counter-Strike. Great.
Yeah.
So good. Meanwhile, they're trying to do equally good. Is that good grammar? It's bad grammar, in fact.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Energy doing their very best to actually do something around. And I thought maybe they'd get somewhere with them getting the first kill, but since that, nothing else.
Yeah.
With the pistols.
Gravity gave themselves ahead here once again. 6-5 is the scoreline. Like I said though, Mike, remember how well Gravity did against Big 5 on the T-half last weekend? I think it was a 12-3 scoreline and they managed to level it up 12-12. And only then did Big 5 win the map 16-12. So they won 9 consecutive rounds on the T side.
Again, the Gravity players do know their way around Counter-Strike. It's just been, oh no, ADM, don't you know your angles?
Yeah, gets caught off guard there though. Chappie not prepared for the second line of defense there. It's Blaze who's trying to lock it down.
Bouncing that molly off the skybox there to slow them down.
Yeah, good decision there, using his utility effectively to try and buy some time for his teammates to rotate across. Looks like Gravity are still going to be committing to the B-bomb site here eventually. Lots of time left on the clock, so no need to make any early commitments, but they have rotated DM across, and it seems like they're not going to be wasting any time here. Another smoke to keep them at bay, and I think they're going to execute through this. Flashbang is going over the top. Huffy, he's going to lead the charge, and he does push forward, and he's able to find players with an elongated spray down. The trade is there, though, from Kani as we head into what should be a post-plant situation momentarily. 3 versus 3 is the name of the game. Some utility here for Energy to try and get themselves in towards the bomb site. Oh, gets across just before the smoke blooms. He catches Aces off guard, and now a one-man advantage for Energy. You'd expect them to drive this one home. No kit, though, so they need to get a move on here. Smoke towards Banana just to block off DM's angle. Try and segregate the 2 remaining players. Memory completely blinded up, trying to use the fountain as cover, and he's actually going to be able to do exactly that, though. He's only good for 1 frag. The molly coming through on...
They could line up.
Going to be shutting down Dweezil, and now it's on the man's shoulders. He doesn't have a kit. Even though he gets the frag, he's not going to be able to get the defuse, and Gravity Gaming win another round here on their T side.
Jeez, Gravity Gaming have shown they've got somewhat of a T side on Inferno, but Energy Esports certainly been playing into their hands in a lot of ways. Maybe not so much in this round, but I must say I like the call out of Gravity Gaming to go for that B-bomb side early. You know, conventional wisdom there would say, well, you know, you don't have to commit to a side early on. You can take your time, but they had a pretty severe lack of utility on their side. So, you know, only having, you know, flash each and a couple of smokes, if they let it bleed down a little bit later, those would have been bled out of them as well. And both them and the CTs wouldn't have had much utility. But the thing is, B-bomb side is a death trap if you're going to try and cross that CT without a smoke. So, rather use your utility while you got it, get in there, take the site, and it works out for them.
Yeah, it certainly did. Good decision making there from them as they go for another pop flash to the smoke. Yeah, Puffy certainly feeling it at the moment, full of confidence, and he's going to be able to find 2 frags, takes control of the A bomb site. Chappie adding to his tally as well. You could see the thinking there from Energy. The man was a player, he was the only player with a rifle, he had armor as well. Send him to the B bomb site by himself and then stack the other 4 players towards A. Hope that the pistols can try and get something done towards the top of middle there, using the choke point to their advantage, but doesn't work out for them in the end. Some good use of utility. Generally, you don't even pushing through smokes against pistols, but Puffy makes it look easy.
Yes, he does, and that's the half win for Gravity, 8-5.
Wow.
And that's quite the turnaround. Again, Energy just being super aggressive. Have we seen ADM with an AWP yet? I think this might be the first time because they've been forcing so much.
You remember the round where he got shot by Chappie on the angle? Where he was looking to the side, but he hasn't had an impact with it, which is the bigger point that you're making here.
Yeah, we were talking about him prior to the start of the map as the key player, and he's done some good things with the rifles for sure, but again, lack of AWP has been quite an issue. Now they have two, Canny and ADM, both very capable with the sniper rifles. Both of them have those guns, but it does also mean Energy's utility is not quite what you'd maybe want. Still got the mollies and the smokes though to slow down those aggressing Ts, but the half win's already gone, Matt.
Yeah. Still potential to make sure that they do get those 7 rounds in the board. You don't want to be losing this half 5-10 from Energy's perspective, that's for sure.
And that's a very real prospect right now.
Yeah, lose this round, and that's certainly a possibility. And that's why you can see Energy, they've changed a little bit here, haven't they? They've gotten slightly more passive, I would say.
Chappie's been a real terror here as well towards this Archers and Library area. Jeez, he almost does. And if he gets this kill, that could unlock things. It does.
Completely separates the two players on either bomb side from Energy's perspective, and it actually enables Gravity to go for the split here. And you can see Blaze, he feels the need to make a play because they've lost that CT control, so he gets aggressive. He gets
Blaze!
And the second. Eventually he goes down, but he has certainly left ADM in a better situation before he went down. They know exactly where ADM is as well, up close looking for those AWP shots, but he's not able to connect on any, and that means we're now down to the 2v2, 2v1 as Gravity Gaming, they still just keep going through tooth and nail. Fighting tooth and nail, they get themselves into a winnable position here. Weasel, the only player remaining, he's got a kit, he's got a bit of util to work with. He gets spotted out and he gets taken down by Puffy, who's certainly turned on the burners so far.
Yeah, he's looked great. Triple kill for him, 12 and 10 for him. Chappie also, he's ruling the roost there toward Archers. He's been really influential in winning them these rounds, and he got them the early opening in this one. I thought Blaze had maybe done enough with the man coming in on the quick rotate, but yeah, Puffy finding the headshots.
Yeah, I think Blaze was actually a bit unfortunate with the smoke there. He was hoping it would bloom a little bit closer than what it did. And Energy, well, they're down 5-9 right now against Gravity Gaming, playing with the sub on the CT side of Inferno, so probably not the position they'd have expected to find themselves in, especially considering they had just
beautiful flash.
They had such a dominant performance on Mirage. Now they are being beaten down here. Nice patience from Gravity. They know that Energy's buy is going to be weakened, so Energy, they need to make a play. They're trying to gain some ground somewhere. And Gravity, they're just waiting with open arms right now. The man, he has got the timing. He knows that that range is not effective with the Mag 7, so he goes with the USP instead. That also hides the fact that he has a Mag 7 to work with, so he may be able to shut down Puffy here unaware. And no, not the case. Puffy is the omnipotent force right now. And Gravity realizing now that the A-bomb site is completely vacant as that information gets relayed across from Puffy. And he's also trying to make sure that these rotators can't get across. Kani though, going to shut him down, and he may actually be able to get the planter as well. Memory can't actually commit to the plant immediately here. He has to wait a little bit for Chappie to get a bit closer. No kits for these remaining Energy players, so they're going to have to find these frags fairly soon. And another smoke goes down here, so they're just going to be keeping them at bay. Memory, he times his peak perfectly. You can't spray with the scope. It is just so difficult to control. You need to go for the taps. He gets the first, not the second. And now on Kani's shoulders, that molly comes through quite early from Chappie, but it's not going to make a difference. He swings wide, he gets the kill. 10-5 is the scoreline at halftime. Gravity Gaming making it look easy there.
Wow. Wow. I just got to say it again. It's crazy to see Gravity Gaming actually hitting double digits. I thought in this one, Energy would just turn on the afterburners and close things out. And I think they thought that too, because you could see them just smashing into Gravity round after round there in the previous half. And it favors Gravity in a big way. We saw Big Five try the same thing and get the same result. And this is even with a sub. So again, Gravity Gaming, you're going to look back at the season and ask the what ifs and what might have beens, because they certainly do have ability on a lot of maps, and they do have the ability to get T rounds. But now CT side, that's where we saw things go a little bit awry for them last week. Let's see how that holds up now. Energy, certainly a team, I'd also say, have a better T side on this map than CT side.
Yeah, that seems to have been the case in past results. Wow, Gravity Gaming actually in a fantastic position here in the second half. I still have to take a second look just to make sure that I'm reading the scoreline right. 10-5 in their favor.
Do you think maybe Energy are looking at it and going, hey, well, we've secured playoffs, we're fine, and now we're just having fun?
Not necessarily, to be fair. I think that based off that first map, they thought that they were going to win this game regardless of how they approached it, and they're being proven otherwise here. Need to be slightly more clinical in their approach. Dweezil does find the first frag in the round. That puts DM under quite a lot of pressure. How much more can he get done after finding that first frag? The answer is nothing. The man taking down Chappie and DM, opening up the A bomb site, and this is looking a little bit more like the Energy we expected to see in this map. I actually think that Energy may have started to get a bit frustrated. Let's see if Aces has anything to say. Finds that first shot onto players. He doesn't have a kit, and that's why he's getting so aggressive. Pushes straight into the man's crosshair. Anyway, the point I was making is that Energy may have actually started to get a bit frustrated in that first half, and that frustration certainly becomes exponential when you're playing against a team who you just think you should be destroying. Why are we losing these rounds? What's going on? Could cause a bit of chaos in the team.
Yeah, I think frustration was a large part of why they continue to keep getting aggressive, hoping to catch them off, and certainly didn't actually favour them in the half after all, with the 10-5 going towards Gravity. And I'll again say, you know, put an AWP in Adium's hands. If he only has the AWP twice in the entire half, I think it's a huge problem for their CT side.
Look at the stack of Gravity.
Okay.
All 5 players holding the same angle, so
I love it.
if somebody comes through there, he's going to have 5 different people to contend with. Yeah, mixing it up here, trying something new in the eco round, and they may have a chance to employ this setup as well. You can see Energy are sending some feelers out towards the apartments, just trying to get a bit of information, but it looks like eventually they will be committing to B. I'm hoping that they go for some information before they do commit, though. They've got these players in middle. Why wouldn't they just have a quick peek, use a flashbang, see if they can find anything? Looks like they're actually executing towards both sides of the map. Blaze is going to be calling all the information across. The man looking for the ultimate spray down. He's able to take down 2 and realizes it's not worth to hang around any longer. Makes his way back towards the A bomb site to join his teammates.
Yeah, definitely get out of there.
What do you think what went through Blaze's mind as he came around that corner?
It's just probably a little bit of confusion / panic, like what am I looking at? Why are you all here?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of something that VP used to do on Cobble towards the middle. I remember Bravado also pulled it out a few times as well, where you'd stack all 5 players on the slope there towards A out of middle. You know, because you can sort of stack them at different heights because of the steepness of the slope. That was always a fun one to see. Puffy not having that much fun in this half versus the previous half. Still gets 2 nonetheless. That's some nice money to help him out in bringing up an AWP early on.
Yeah, that was just absolute chaos. I'm glad the man decided to back off there. So, Gravity going to hold their nerve as they go for another eco round here. Allowing Energy Esports to draw within 2. At least that's what I expect to happen.
I'm a little annoyed with Puffy, honestly. I thought he got enough money there for an AWP, and now he buys a Max 7. He needs to get a kill, otherwise he can't afford one.
Should he get the frag, though, he will get a lot
there we go.
protection, and there is $900 added to the bank accounts. That certainly does mean he'll be able to afford the AWP purchase in the next round.
So that's a risk.
Yeah, it is a risk. Certainly agreed. Maybe he was just relying on DM to buy the AWP. It's like, nah, he's got enough money. Don't need to say.
He's a nice guy. He's a sub. He'll drop for me, right?
Yeah, he has to drop for me, right?
Otherwise, he's out the team. Wait, hang on. Isn't he out of the team anyway?
4 versus 4 is the name of the game right now. There is still 2 smokes for Gravity to work with here. Generally, when you've got smokes in these sort of situations, you want to try and push the round as late as possible and force the Energy into a bit of an awkward position, but you don't even think that Energy would even allow that to be a possibility at this point. Dweezil just getting some information towards A, not only doing that, but also forcing those 3 players to remain in that area of the map from Gravity's perspective. Memory is the only player towards B, and he gets forced up by that smoke as well. As expected, Energy take the control, get the bomb down, turn it into a post plant, and I don't even know if Gravity are going to be committing to anything but trying to find a couple exit frags here. DM, he has got that SG553 on his back. Straight through the smoke, the man takes down Chappie. He's certainly got the spray down on lockdown. It looks like Gravity are going to be actually trying to do a bit of damage here.
I think it's worth attempting.
Yeah, they're going to be committing to the exits here, just trying to lock down the choke points. Aces, though, a potentially getting a little bit too aggressive. Could have just held the angle, waited for somebody to push forward, exactly like Memory's doing. Not that that actually worked out any better. And it is going to be Energy who win the first 3 rounds of the second half here. 8-10 is the scoreline, reducing the deficit to just 2.
Gravity playing the long game, deciding not to buy earlier in the half than they maybe could have. And that's good to see. I think they do realize that they could actually pull a win out here. 17 kills on Chappie, 16 on Puffy, the 24 on the man. That's...
Yeah. He looked really good on Mirage as well, so he's certainly having a good day. And just a quick update, Avantgarde beat G2, 2-1.
Not surprised.
That means that they secure themselves legend status.
You know that we could actually start like a fan club or something for Avantgarde and call it the Cult of the Perpetual Orb, where but literally James saves the orb forever, so it's like they always have an orb because he just doesn't die with it.
The thing is he gets a lot of banter for that, but he wins them quite a lot of rounds with
he clutches pretty well as well.
He clutches, he puts that saved orb to good use. I think he receives quite a lot of flack for it.
Okay, I'm going to upgrade him then. It will be the Church of the Perpetual Orb. You know, we'll go with that. Because it's just...
I think that's a fair enough status.
The orb lives in James' hand.
Yeah.
And he has beautiful hair as well, give him that.
Let's not forget the addition of a Drain in the place of Fitch certainly has made quite a big difference in that team. So he gets himself into the legend status again.
Yeah.
Of course, he is a major winner with Gambit in 2018.
It's interesting to see because I think he's brought a lot of experience to them. He doesn't seem to be fragging in the way that he used to, but I don't think he needs to. The youngsters kick it.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sanjeevan looking great as well. Meanwhile,
anyway,
Gravity Gaming looking great in this game. First buy round for them on their CT side. And Aces has got himself that one-tap machine thanks to DM who dropped it over to him. Very nice guy, DM.
Double AWP here for Gravity.
I must say with the economic changes, it's terrifying to see an SG come out sometimes in second rounds, like 2 of them.
Yeah.
For the T side when they're forced by. It's just like, that shouldn't be possible, surely.
Yeah. Certainly is something that teams have had to adjust to. Looks like Energy are actually just going to go for the full commitment to the B bomb site here eventually with all 4 players, or 4 of their players grouped up in that area of the map. Kani the lurker towards the opposite side, either trying to fake or catch any rotators, and the commencement does come through now as those players start to make their way forward, forcing Puffy off the angle. Kani's able to get one elsewhere on the map. Memory just hiding from family is going to be able to shut down Blaze, and it is looking really good as Puffy comes into the fray here as well with the AWP pushing through the smoke. ADM, the only player remaining, he's able to take down Chappie, so he's been able to at least reduce this from a 1 versus 4 into a 1 versus 2, and he's got time to work with here as well. Puffy nearly went for the peak there. And you can see that these 2 remaining Gravity players, they're not going to give anything away right now. ADM has to make the next move before they're going to start to get aggressive. Going to fake the plant here once again. Neither of them budge. Oh! We were saying it, Mike. It's a game of timing. And it just completely worked out against ADM. They're Gravity Gaming. They win the first buy round.
Also, ADM proving that you can't pull the bomb out and use it to block a shot to the chest.
Gee, that would be like a pan in PUBG sort of style.
Yeah, clang. Yeah, kind of.
Would that exploded, maybe?
No, plastic explosive is non-reactive to bullets.
Okay.
It needs an electrical charge.
There we go. Dropping the facts.
Yep. Well, the facts of the game is that Gravity Gaming have extended their lead 11-8. Energy still on a buy. But Dweezil down to the MAC 10.
Yeah.
And it is going to be about what happens in this round. It's going to tell us a lot about where this half might go.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Energy just went for the basic B execute there, and it doesn't work out for them. They get shut down.
Oh, Puffy.
Tunnel visioned as well, and he tags up ADM as well, doing 84 damage to the person behind the man. So all of a sudden, a huge advantage for Gravity in the round.
Oh, do you think that frustration is building in Energy?
That was quick from Khan. Chappie, though, he negates that frag by taking down Dweezil. Again, maintaining that one-man advantage here for his team. Gravity Gaming actually looking like they're in with a shot at actually winning this map. Going 1-1, securing a point. And that maybe keeps them in playoff contention. But X-Astros have to beat Sinister 5-2-0, so
I don't know about that.
How realistic that prospect is.
Don't know about that one, but this game still ongoing. Canny there, pre-firing it nicely, just shoots above his head. So Canny and ADM both pretty low in this round. That should probably be the round. It's going to be all on Blaze. And I got to say, Puffy's been super impressive the last couple of weeks. He did look a bit off the pace in the first 2 weeks of the competition, but
Yeah.
latterly he's looked kind of like his old self.
Reacquainting himself with the level of competition here at the top of South African Counter-Strike and Energy. They're going to execute into this B bomb side where Puffy is ready and waiting with the AWP.
They're all low.
Tag. This time onto Blaze. However, these three players are still alive and kicking with all the potential in the world to do some damage. As I say that, ADM finds the frag. Kani eventually getting taken down, and Blaze is able to find Puffy. Down to the 2 versus 2 we go. Energy Esports still alive in this round, despite what their health situation might suggest.
And they've certainly got the weaponry to land the shots to kill these players, so the health might not actually come into it.
Yeah, Molly on Blaze as well, so potential here to shoot down the defuse, and there we go, as you say it, instantly finding the frags between the two of them. Sure, Gravity Gaming going to be slightly disappointed with themselves to not bring that round to a W.
I think if Puffy looks back at that, he'll feel a little bit aggrieved to have knocked 2 players low with the AWP and not killed them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that would have certainly changed the complexion of the round. Still hits the shots, and that's what I got to say for Puffy is his consistency on landing the shots is a lot better than he used to be. He's always been a very fast AWPer, but kind of like in the Drake mold, you know, he'll hit the really crazy shots and miss the easy ones. Puffy of ECL Season 3 does seem to be able to hit more of the shots that he should. And Chappie, how does he get the second?
No idea. That's a stray bullet. Completely a stray bullet that takes down Blaze. And that's just one of the things. When you're running and shooting, sometimes, way more often, it goes against you. But sometimes, that stray bullet is going to find you a frag.
Speculative. DM on the angle here could have actually found himself a kill. But yeah, he can see heads. He could still find a headshot, yeah, but gets shot through the wall.
Yeah, good attention to detail there from Dweezil. Realizing the situation, spraying him down through the wall. Yeah, just talking about jumping and shooting, I'll never forget a heartbreaking moment when we were playing, well, when I was working with Energy, we played against Bravado on Dust 2. JT was in a, well, he was below elevator, and he jumped up to shoot someone. There was a person planting the bomb behind him, and the stray bullet took down the planter, and there wasn't enough time to get the bomb down after that. So it was just one of those things. Sometimes luck works in your favor.
Emery doing his best to tune in the radio there. It's his favorite station.
He's blocking the signal, man. Eventually it comes through. Energy Esports making it work here on the T side. And
I thought that's how you use radio. You got to stand on it.
No, you have to jump on it. That's the important part. Anyway, Energy certainly have been making ends meet here on the T side and looking a lot better. Good teamwork coming through from them, keeping their composure, making sure nobody gets too frustrated, even though the run of play has been against them.
Yeah, I think that 19th round, as we were saying, could inform a lot about the way the game was going to go, and them stealing it out of the fire there with Adium and Blaze both low on health. They still managed to clutch it out. That decimated that Gravity Gaming economy and has allowed Energy to get within one.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if it had gone the other way, Gravity would have been very close to closing things out.
So, very brief technical issue as we go straight back into the next round here. Gravity, they're going to have enough money to get the bye. Lose this bye round, though, scores are level, and you'd expect Energy to close the game from that point. However, they do still have a chance to keep themselves in it if they can win this round. Feels like they do need to consistently keep finding rounds. They can't allow Energy to get too far ahead. As the underdog, generally speaking, you want to make sure you consistently remain in the fight.
Yeah, nice boost there.
It's not too easy, and that was a nice boost. Nearly yielded the frag. I was actually surprised it didn't yield the frag. Kani, by himself, he's been doing a great job so far, and Puffy just goes for the dry peek there. No flashes needed. The man's been getting shut down in Banana quite consistently by Puffy's AWP, actually.
Yeah, it tends to be there or thereabouts when it comes to the half wall, so it's a pretty good shout to go for that. And I like that little bit of subterfuge out of Gravity to go for the dry peek with the backup as well. And that's the key focus there, that Puffy pushed forward. And oh, what are they doing? They're not watching at all.
Yeah, Puffy not at all aware of that possibility. And Blaze, he has got that 200 IQ play there, making sure he covers the boost as he makes his way forward. Way too often we see that position going unchecked. Not this time, though.
Shaking my head at that one. I was just praising them for the smart play there towards Banana, and then they just forget that Banana exists or something and allow those Energy players to walk in.
Well, I think Puffy had the angle on lockdown the whole time, but he hadn't realized that ADM had actually gotten across, and that's why he had that angle on lockdown. Good heads-up play there from Energy to use their time to their advantage as well.
Well, 11 to 10 very shortly to be 11 all. And that's going to be certainly music to Energy Esports fans' ears, whereas most of this map has actually been pretty bad news, I think, if you're an Energy fan.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been easy going, that's for sure.
Weasel can ring you a bell.
Rung a couple people's bells, all of them. It's just, we're at your door, man. Open up.
Pizza delivery.
11-11 is the score. Gravity Gaming, because they were able to save 3 of those weapons in the previous round, they're going to be able to go for the buy here once again. They have only found a single round so far in the CT half. Double AWP here still to work with for Gravity. It's inflicting damage, but Energy, they're consistently finding these replies, making sure they keep themselves in the round. Oh, well, this time we see some adaptations with the HE grenades coming through. Lands at Puffy's feet and does 83 damage. That literally landed on top of him. He doesn't have armor, so that's actually why it did so much damage.
Yeah, pushing forward a little bit here. Is Memory going to sit behind the smoke and let them come up close? Actually, Energy not pushing off it initially. I thought they might actually accelerate onto the side. Canny goes down to aces. Couple players low here for Gravity, but they do have the numbers advantage. This round actually pretty finely poised, and as I say that, Chappie gets the kill now, a 3v5. Blaze surely going to get this one.
That's exactly what happened in the previous round as well. Energy were able to lurk a player into that cubby and catch one of the Gravity players off guard. And all of a sudden, a 5 versus 3 becomes a 5 versus 4, and it gives Energy a lot more space and room to work with. Also, Blaze just continuing to persist towards this B-bomb site. And that's allowed for his teammates to rotate across as well. So Energy are actually going to have a numbers advantage here as they make their way onto this B-bomb site, and Blaze is able to find Puffy as well. Somehow the round has completely swung into Energy's favor once again after Gravity kicked it off with 2-man advantage. Chappie, the first responder with the AWP, is going to be able to catch ADM off guard.
Chappie!
She lands a great shot onto Blaze there. All of a sudden, it's on the man's shot.
Chappie!
Gets shut down by Chappie's AWP as well. Beautiful triple kill there from him.
Wow, I like shouting Chappie. Not about the movie, that wasn't good. The player's pretty good though.
Yeah, he certainly has picked his performance up in that round. He hasn't looked too elaborate in the second half yet, but that was the moment his team needed. He actually got a quad kill in the round, so fantastic job by him.
Secondary AWP coming into it big style. He was great in the T half, and as you said, been a little bit quiet here. We've been talking about Puffy a little bit more in the second half. And actually, ADM missed the shot there. Actually heard the shot ring out from ADM.
Yeah,
so
uncharacteristic as well.
That's going to cost them quite a bit in the overall context of the game as well. So
yeah, Gravity get themselves ahead. They take a chunk out of Energy's economy. This game is evenly poised right now, Mike.
Well, I can just hear in my brain, unfortunately, I can hear Burning Red saying #believe. And
jeez, you almost feel the fool for calling him out on that, don't you? Because I did, and I'm feeling a bit foolish right now.
Not at all. I'm always right.
Even when you're wrong, you're right. That's the mentality.
I mean, I look at every girlfriend I've ever had. That's what they do. So I'm going to claim that for myself.
Yeah, clearly it works for some people. Why wouldn't it work for you? Energy Esports looking to make something work in their favor right now. They're a man down, but that hasn't been too much of a problem in the past. 2 players down now. Chappie with a well-timed shot there after being completely blinded up by Dweezil's flash. And the Energy, they're going to persist with the B-bomb site here. I'm surprised that Gravity aren't catching on to this. Perhaps it's just like, hey, they've kept on going B. They have to come A eventually, but that's not the case. Energy still have some util to work with as they run down the clock. Just trying to force a bit of doubt into Gravity's mind. Utility raiding through a late smoke there from Aces is actually going to force these Energy players to push through the smoke, but it's not the worst. It's the best smoke, rather. Nade comes through there from Memory. He's going to be able to catch ADM. Blaze gets tagged down to 2 points of health as well. So Gravity will have the 1-man advantage here on the retake once that bomb eventually goes down. Massive health advantage as well, and Memory just straight up sprays Kani down through the coffin, and DM finds Blaze as well. Gravity Gaming keeping themselves in this one, Mike. Not only keeping themselves in it, but getting themselves within touching distance of closing out the map.
Yeah, they actually do one better than last week against Big 5. They're now on 13.
Yeah, but not only that, it's been a more well-rounded performance from them.
With the substitutes again, Chappie 26 kills, Puffy 21.
Yeah, but props to DM. He certainly has slotted into this game, and he's been doing a fantastic job for them. Every job they've given to him, he's pretty much come out with a successful result. So he certainly has been a present force for them in this match.
Seems like the man has cooled off a little bit in the second half. I mean, he was already over 20 in the first, so...
Yeah, well, I think Puffy's poured cold water
all over that
so far. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been losing that banana battle pretty often. Energy Esports now going for somewhat of a play here in apps. And Chappie on the angle misses the shot, and he needs to get that molly down actually to hold them at bay. The man actually fully flashed. He was burning for a little bit there. Is Chappie going?
No.
Oh my word.
Okay, so he's playing a bit more confident than we're used to seeing from him as he takes down Dweezil. Energy, they've gone for the buy in this round, so if they lose it, they're not going to have any money left.
Oh, Chappie.
He's just staying in close quarters here with the AWP, using it as a shotgun. ADM eventually going to be able to find a frag for his team, and that also allows him to continue to push forward. The flank, the problem is that the bomb is dropped on the balcony, and Chappie is still dealing damage with the AWP. 2 versus 4 is the result right now. ADM
oh, ADM!
2, and he does. Finding Chappie and DM leaves Cunny in a very winnable situation. He's been able to retrieve the bomb. He knows where one player is. They know where he is as well. And he's able to find aces. That leaves him against Puffy in the 1v1. He has no idea where Puffy is rotated from, though. He does spot out the head, but no one calls that he spotted it. He's not going to be able to get the frag. Oh, man. It's really tough to spot that, though. You see him for a split second, and we have the benefit of knowing that he's there, so you're sort of looking in that direction already. Oh, man, that's unfortunate.
Oh, this lineup here, this couldn't have worked out more beautifully for ADM. It made it possible for Kenny.
Yeah. Imagine how DM felt, though, because as he started shooting at ADM, Chappie walked into his line of fire there, and they both go down. Anyway, Gravity still win the round, 14-11, and look who has a smile on his face. Burning red.
Oh, ADM, they're burning memory.
Yeah, but
Puffy should not get what?
Puffy, how does he walk away with the double and keep himself alive? Aces finds Dweezil. Gravity Gaming should be finding their 15th round here. Kani, the only player remaining, is going to push into Puffy, who's dropped his gun. Oh, he's throwing the gun away. He's got the AWP still. And Kani's traded places with him. He's going to commit to the bomb plant. He's not even going to be able to find the plant. Puffy gets a triple, a huge triple at that.
Jeez, I don't even know how Puffy got that second kill. If you look at the situation here, Puffy gets that and you expect him to get traded out there, but ADM covered off. And those kills just flying in fast and thick for Gravity Gaming. 15-11, yeah, map point for them. And we could actually see a tied series here out of Gravity Gaming. And again, now then if you're Gravity Gaming, you should have beat X-Astrus, boys.
Beating X-Astrus actually would have meant that they sit on 5 points if they win this map, Mike. That's massive. Massive. Anyway, it's a has-been. Unfortunately, they have to focus on the prize right now, which is the Energy Esports scalp.
And this is a force buy out of Energy.
Yeah,
that's all they can do. They can't afford much.
3 Desert Eagles, 2 MAC-10s, a bit of utility in the back pocket to work with, but having said that, they've had all the rifles, they've had all the AWPs, and that hasn't worked, so maybe this is what they need. Maybe this is the concoction that they require.
Jeez, Chappie and Puffy have been destroying dreams so far. Memory, the one with the AWP this time around, actually lands the shot. Seen him been part of the double AWP a couple times. It's usually Chappie, but in previous games, sometimes Memory, and he seems to be a pretty competent AWPer.
Just missing the timing on the shot there. Puffy, this position got checked last time, but doesn't get checked this time around. The spray through the smoke's not going to connect, so he's able to find Kani. And he drops off, keeping himself alive. Another 2-man advantage here for Gravity Gaming. Pop flash through the smoke for Puffy to try to deny the plant. He's not going to be able to. He does find the frag, and now it's on the man's shoulders, and he goes down to the AWP of Memory. Gravity Gaming complete the upset and keep themselves in playoff contention. 16-11, what a result.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what I've watched yet. It's just Energy have had so many opportunities in this game to take the lead, to put themselves in a good spot, and we just saw time and time again on their CT side. They were just way too aggressive, giving away rounds, and even on T side, it's just those clutch moments have just not favored them at all. It's always come down to Puffy, Chappie, those guys. And now I think we should zoom in on Burning Red's face and just see a little bit of that smugness.
Yeah. Hey, you had it in the first map. You got no no grounds.
Yeah, well, that was between the two of you guys, but I had a little bit of hope for Gravity there, actually. And
well
since it was their map pick, I thought, you know, what's the odds? The odds are probably not that good.
Yeah, horrible. But I'll believe regardless.
But I went for the hashtag believe, and there we go. You know, once again, I think that's like the 4th time that it's actually happened in the last couple of years. So
What's your strike rate though? Not very high. I
Strike rate's probably like at least maybe about 60%.
Oh,
No,
I'm sure about
not
that
a-
one, Mr. Nate. We'll see how it works out for you in the next game.
Well, if you're talking about
No,
60,
I'm not calling anything. I can only do it once a day. There's
Oh,
only
is
that-
it got a cooldown?
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's definitely got a 24-hour cooldown.
Okay.
But look, I mean,
regardless, can't take anything away from that performance
Yeah.
by Gravity. That was really well crafted by them. They worked hard for that one, and it was actually quite a clean result towards the end there. That double AWP setup was just impenetrable.
yeah. Well, let me ask the question: where did it go wrong for Energy?
Well, I think he just highlighted it, the AWP situation in CT side.
Yeah.
The fact that it was very rarely in the hands of ADM. ADM only finished the first half with 8 kills. So, I mean, he had minimal impact on their CT side. We saw the AWPs twice in the whole CT side. And then the AWPs for Gravity Gaming were super influential in Puffy and Chappie's hands in their CT side.
Having said that, it was a great second half performance from Gravity Gaming, but Energy, they've only got themselves to blame.
They were in a position to win it at one point.
Not only that, but they made their lives so difficult in that first half by just persisting with that relentless aggression, looking to take fights unnecessarily, taking unfavorable fights. Exactly what we were praising them for not doing on Mirage is exactly what they do on Inferno. So
Yeah.
they need to go back and make sure that they don't make those mistakes in the future when they play against some lesser opposition, because they cost themselves a point, and that could cost them a seed, which means they could play against the number one team in the qualifier. So
Yeah. That's also something to consider
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
You know, seeding into the finals. You know, where you play. So you're going to place third, or you're going to place fourth. Obviously, you don't want to be placing fourth because you're going to be taking on the number one spot, and that could be Goliath or Big Five,
Yeah.
depending on tomorrow. But still, I mean, looking at where we're going to see the top 4 teams kind of land up in this tournament, it's literally, I don't think it's too important being seeded in the 3rd and 4th spot, because all games are going to be tough.
exactly. I
All games are
completely
going to
agree
be
with you.
literally
Yeah.
down to the wire, I believe. Like, it's a best of 3, obviously, so now there is no opportunity to draw, but you know, a good result for Gravity Gaming, you know,
Yeah.
coming out with a draw here, at least putting themselves in contention in the slightest of ways.
Can I also just make a point? This is potentially the last map that they played in ECL Season 3, and they were the one team that a lot of people were calling out for saying they just had an easy run through the bracket, they don't deserve to be here. I think they warranted their place in this competition by beating Sinister 5, by pushing Big 5 the distance. They had some good moments against Goliath. They should have beaten X-Astrus, and here they take a map off of Energy. So I genuinely feel like Team Gravity actually warranted their place in this competition.
Up and coming team, perhaps, Mike?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what Matt was saying there. They've certainly shown they deserve to be here, and I think they've shown that they will be a factor in future competitions. We've got some other tournaments coming up, specifically the qualifiers for the Middle State Aces ROG event at
Yep.
Rage. I think they should be one of the top 8 teams that make it there. I'd be very surprised if they don't. And if they don't, I mean, it would almost be like a bracket kind of wrecking them or something, because they do have the fundamentals, I think, to make it there. So I'd expect we'd probably see them in an ECL Season 4 if they're still around.
For a Gravity Gaming fan, of course, let's hope that they actually do stay in the ECL and qualify through to the finals that will be taking place next weekend. Let's have a quick look at the table now after that match between these 2 teams. Where are they sitting right now? Gravity Gaming, well, looking, how do I say, still on the bottom there at the moment. They're kind of tied with Sinister 5, and that's going to be a little bit of a problem for them, because Sinister 5 on paper have got more wins.
Yeah.
Before we even get to the round.
Oh,
round
I
as well.
see. So regardless of that.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so
It
the
does rank.
playoff hopes are then over.
Well, in theory, yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
should be done.
Unless
looks
Sinister 5 disband, you know, like there's like after this weekend, they're just like, we're done.
Yeah, which is very, very super unlikely to ever happen.
Yeah.
Usually they have contracts.
Beat Goliath,
Hashtag
beat Big
believe.
5, done.
Come on.
Well, look,
Gravity
I mean,
Gaming, believe.
Sinister 5 could potentially jump all the way to the
Second spot? They can't go first
third.
because either Goliath or Big 5 will get a point from tomorrow. They
They
could go second.
They could go third, actually, because in theory, if you look at Big 5 and Goliath,
Yes.
they've got more wins than.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
Sinister
they'd
5
have the
win
same
today,
amount of
then it
wins.
will be 3
And they beat both of those opponents. so-
However, when you're looking at the losses, they have got less losses than that of Sinister, so that's also a factor to put into consideration.
But after
Before
tomorrow,
getting
one
to
of
the
them
round.
will have a loss.
Yeah, look, and then the round difference will
40
kick
chess
in,
here, Nate.
and we'll have a look. The 4D chess,
Yeah.
100%.
But don't
look,
you love that there's no foregone conclusions, even though we are at the back end of the competition? It's still up in the air as to what sort of seeds we're going to have.
that is exactly the Evetech Champions League.
Yeah,
for you.
I love it.
Whoever are the top 6 that go into this Champions League end up fighting to the bitter end to try and get into the top 4. Anyway, guys, we're going to go for a quick break, 5-minute break, a commercial break on our side, and then you can join us then thereafter for the next match between Sinister 5 and Team Exastris. Right, we are back for the Evetech Champions League match day 7. It is match 2 now here between Sinister 5 and Team Exastris. Team Exastris being the team right at the bottom of the log against Sinister 5, who are also fighting in that mid-table right now to keep alive and keep their chances alive now. This is their last game to get into that final position. Now, before we actually carry on, I've got the two gentlemen with me, of course, Matthew and Mike. Gentlemen, thank you once again for joining me. Let's quickly dive into this whole tournament, the ECL thus far. You know, talking about a little bit of upsets. Mike, you mentioned a few. Matt, from your side, starting with the whole Gravity Gaming thing, they did a really great, they had a really great performance against Energy in the previous game now. I mean, was that kind of your take or your expectation when starting?
You mean the entire competition?
Correct.
No, I didn't think that they would actually be as good as they were, so I am pleasantly surprised by the results that they actually put up. I think that they also made quite a bit of progress throughout the season as well, which is always what you want to see from one of those teams, one of the underdog teams. You want to see them making some progress, you want to see them learning from their mistakes and gaining that experience, developing, growing. So when they do come back in the future, they're a force to be reckoned with, and actually maybe one of the teams that we will consider to be making playoffs. But yeah, they got themselves in a position to potentially make playoffs, and that's a feat on its own. So impressive run from them, actually. I would say that we were even considering them to be one of the teams to make playoffs.
So Mike, from your side, let's quickly talk Sinister 5. I mean, first game losing up against Gravity there. Not something that was expected, obviously. They dropped that first game. They didn't look very hot going into the following games. And then all of a sudden jumping back and picking up the 2 wins against the top 2 teams. Expected?
No. I think you're throwing us some easy questions here, Nate. The answer would be no, but to elaborate on no, I think it's just that we expected Sinister 5 to be pretty good going into the season after they did pretty well at Syntech Masters, and they just weren't. And it's clearly something wasn't working within the team. They identified that as being Canny. Canny went to Energy, Mistim came from Energy, and suddenly, you know, Mistim just seemed to activate. And I think maybe it's also that thing of being more of the focal point as a star player that Mistim was able to do that. But he was imperious last week. Again, like that's... You were talking, Matt, about how you know, we couldn't predict that Gravity Gaming would have as good a season as they did. Well, I don't think anybody could have predicted that, you know, Sinister 5 would beat Big 5 and Goliath in the same weekend, back to back, with no practice with the new player.
Ever.
It's just like, it's just unheard of. That doesn't happen. But clearly something is just suddenly working within their team. So I predict a very long afternoon here for Exastris, in the sense that it won't feel good getting beaten on, but it won't be long in the sense that it'll be pretty short.
So talking about Sinister 5, of course, I think for the viewers out there, there is something that we've got for you. You probably haven't seen it before, and we've had him at the media day. Mr. Flexi. We've actually
What?
got him.
He spoke?
Yeah, he did speak.
Wow.
We have got a we've got a piece of content. I did talk about it last weekend.
Yeah.
Here it is. This is Flexi.
So my name's Richard, my in-game name's Flexi, and I'm calling for Sinister 5. I joined my first team at the start of 2016. I've been playing ever since, and yeah, now I'm playing for Sinister 5. So I've had the opportunity to attend quite a few big events during my career. I'd say the first real big one was in 2016. I went to go play the WSG qualifiers in Dubai. Since then I've played most of the big local lands such as ESL Africa, Medal State, T-Gaming League, all of those. And I was pretty fortunate to have the opportunity last year to go overseas to go play PGL in Abu Dhabi and DreamHack Mumbai in India. So that was a fun experience. I mostly use Zawa gear for my peripherals. I use my own keyboard, my custom made. My in-game resolution, I use 4x3 stretched, and my sensitivity is around medium to like low highs.
He's got his own custom keyboard.
He's a real person. That's what I'm just like. There's a real person called Flexi, and he was on camera and he spoke.
Richard Romatsky.
Do you know that weekend of Syntech Masters, myself, Kenny, and Zero Chance all tried to pull him into the couch and put a headset on his head, and he literally fought like, I don't know, a tiger that's being like backed into a corner. And then he actually came through the same weekend and was captured on camera. That's amazing.
Now, Nate, let me just make you aware of something. You're one of the few South African tournament organizers to have a bit of content on Flexi, so one up on you.
I think the only one.
Yeah.
He's never been on
I'm
camera
not going
ever.
to disclose our secret. He's a very nice gentleman.
He is.
I mean, I know
very
he
nice guy.
I know he likes cats. Did you like coax him with some milk? Or?
No, look, he's a little bit of a shy guy, but he was there with the team, and the entire team were a great bunch of guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it was before Kani moved to Energy. Kani was there as well, representing Sinister 5 at the time, and everyone was, had a lot to say. I mean, James, he's the leader of the pack.
Zero chance. Yeah.
He's definitely someone that I remember playing against him, etc. And he's still there. There was a little bit of a joke we had. He's the tail gunner of the team. He's that guy that you just can always rely on, basically. He's the legend in the back. He's operating. That's James. And that's what he does with his team as well. He kind of puts them all in the same circle and says, right, guys, we got a media day. Let's go have some fun. Let's go talk to the guys and see what we can give them.
Yeah, which is awesome. I must say that the roster changes have wrecked your interviews a little bit, haven't they? With Kani moving across to Energy, and he had the Sinister 5 interview, and then now DMS, you had an interview with him, and he's been cut from X-Astra. So it's it's just like these roster changes in the middle of the season are quite unfortunate in that regard.
At least
it is. But let's have a look at the veto now. It is veto time between these two teams, Sinister 5 and Team X-Astra. For the viewers out there, to explain to you how it works, the teams, they ban the maps that they are not good on, and they obviously pick the ones that they are. Simple as that. There are a total of 7 maps to pick from, where each team gets to ban 2 each, and then get to pick their own map. There's also sides that get picked and not eliminated, but get picked on either side on each map. One being counter-terrorist, the other one being terrorist. The terrorist needs to plant the bomb, and the counter-terrorist obviously needs to make sure the terrorists don't plant the bomb. Right, so...
Very educational, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like a quick 30-second skit.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we actually see
works.
X-Astra's banning out Inferno, which is an unusual one, I guess. But I guess, again, you wouldn't really want to play a team as good as Sinister 5 on that map right now. Actually, something you were touching on before the veto, we allow roster changes mid-season, which most organizations
Yeah, which I think is
don't.
really good.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. I'm really in favor of that.
Me
So
too.
The one thing a lot of people don't understand is that the Evetech Champions League being online this year is an online event. And obviously, if it was offline, different story. But these teams have to prepare for their new tournaments, their offline tournaments happening later on this year.
Yeah.
Comic-Con, for example, is one of them. And then later on in Rage, there's another one that's taking place. Metal State and obviously VS that got their respective tournaments. So we thought, instead of enforcing these kind of these roster changes, as what normal tournaments do, let's allow teams to change their
I liked
roster.
it. I really liked it. I think it's a positive move. I think in the international scene we're seeing that being allowed more as well, except for the majors, of course.
3 dead lineups, hashtag X-Astra's banning Train. No surprise there. Sinister 5 are juggernauts on that map. We saw them beat down Big 5, and we saw them draw against Goliath on Train. So I'm not at all surprised to see that map being banned.
It's amazing.
But Dust 2 has made it through the pool, and we saw how good Sinister 5 were on Dust 2 against Goliath. So I'd be surprised if they didn't pick a chair once again.
I love the contrast between the bans. It's just Sinister 5 going for the comfort bans.
Yeah.
They're just like, we don't play those maps. X-Astra's actually thinking and going, geez, we really want to stay away from those.
Yeah.
So problem is, there's quite a lot you want to stay away from versus Sinister 5.
All 7 maps at this point.
Dust 2 missed him 40 kills in 27 rounds there. And I mean, he didn't even get a kill in the last round, the 28th. So he could have even had more.
Just like I said, no surprise that Sinister 5 go for that pick. Certainly a map that they're more familiar with, considering that they are fairly new with their current 5. You want to play on a map that you got it down. You don't want to be putting yourself in some unfamiliar territory. And now it is going to be Mirage. So X-Astra's picking the map, which they've picked pretty consistently throughout the season.
I think every single time they pick Mirage.
Yeah, and that time
Except
Gravity
against
picked it.
Gravity, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But it was picked before them, so they would have picked Mirage.
They're like, darn, they picked our map. Oh, well.
What other maps are there in this
They
game?
did get 16-1 on it, though.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. And it was actually Dust, which they had a fairly decent performance, so maybe there is something there for X-Astra's.
Let's see what they got in the tank. I think their CT side was a little lacking, if I remember correctly, but because they were like 11-4 down after the T half of Gravity, and then managed to win it on their T side.
Yes.
So yeah, I think they do have something in the tank, but the question is how much of that was coming from the calling of DMS, who of course is gone, the in-game leader of X-Astra's criminals. Well, he's been a bit of a criminal. He's just disappeared on them. Or if they kicked him out, one of the two, we don't know.
Speaking of the new player in Creation, right? He's come in for DMS, the caller. I mean, what sort of effect does that have on the team now?
Well, it's a huge effect. Completely changed the dynamic. I don't even think you're going to have any single caller. It's probably just going to be everyone chipping in with ideas on what they
All
think.
shout at once.
Unless they were kind of like dual calling, for example, in the previous games, and
Maybe.
we were not aware of that. Like,
I don't think so. I think DMS was the IGL through and through, but perhaps that was the case. I hope for their sake that they do have somebody who is able to take the reins and do the IGLing.
On that front, Clown was saying on Twitter that he's probably going to be the one calling.
All right.
Well, I think Shanks said Clown is calling, and Clown was like, yeah. So, yeah, boy. I don't know. Anyway.
So potentially Clown might have like inherited some experience from DMS during his time actually at Exastrus, and by that he might be able to call the basic strats at least for the team.
Yeah, and that's all they're going to need here. They shouldn't be getting too elaborate against Sinister 5. They need to just stick to the basics.
I'd like to see Dingo fragging with AWP like we saw out of him last week.
Yeah.
Clown can really frag well, but very inconsistent. I don't know if being an IGL is not going to make it even worse for him.
Yeah.
On the other side, Zero Chance, Flexi, Divo, Hacker, Mr. names we've known in South African CS for a while. And even the younger players have been at the top level now for a couple of years. So
just like Flexi said, started early 2016, so he's got quite a few years of experience under his belt, even though he's not even 20 years of age yet.
It's crazy how many big events he even played in 2016 in that Carbon team.
Exactly,
so, I mean, he's just always been at the top throughout his career. I mean, aside from Hackstack, I think his first team. So.
Bit more informal.
Bit more informal, yes. So I just think the mix of experience, youth, and firepower in Sinister 5 should overpower anything Exastrus might have, and maybe we would have given them more of a chance if DMS was there, but even then it wouldn't have been much of a chance.
Yeah, let's talk creation for a second. Matt, from your side, I think it was you or was it Mike that mentioned that you've seen him play?
Of him.
You know
I know of him
him
as well, but I've never played against him, never watched a game that he's been.
Yeah.
So he's a total unknown character.
Hang on for a second. Didn't he play with that Terry Loves Yoga team for a bit with Panda, Iskaboot, the man? I think he may have played with them for a bit, and that team actually had some impressive results in the first leg of VS. I think they were playing in first division and they were absolutely destroying everyone. So he's got some pedigree. If he's playing with those group of guys, clearly they respect him as an individual, and I take their point of view, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think that he may have what it takes to be a differentiating factor here in this game.
Are we going to talk some scores now, or before we actually do, I actually want to mention the prediction game to the viewers out there, of course. ECLpredictor.com, quite a cool little prediction game. I'm going to quickly open up mine again here just to give you guys a quick sneak peek on how it looks on the games that I have selected. So I went with Energy Esports winning that one, and well, unfortunately that's not the case. It's a draw, so I don't get any points there.
You and me both.
Sinister 5 have gone for the win here against Exastrus, and these, by the way, these draws or the opportunity to actually select, that closes literally like a few seconds before the game goes live.
So you can still do it right now if you'd like.
I think so, or it stopped at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So, because we are running a little bit over, and obviously that's just the nature of Counter-Strike in general.
100%.
But what's quite cool is when you look at your league placements. So I'm under leagues here. Let's look at that overall league rank.
They're on 20. That's pretty impressive.
I'm sitting on overall 20, which is quite cool. Anyway, so yeah, ECLpredictor.com. You stand a chance of actually winning one of these hampers, and we are live. Quick as that.
Awesome stuff. Sinister 5 on the CT side. Exastrus on the T side. Interestingly, that they chose to start on the T side. The more I think about it, the more sure I am that Creation played on that.
Yeah, I was actually checking while you guys were talking at great length there, waiting for a chance to tell you. I did actually check. It wasn't Terry Loves Yoga.
Okay, there we go. Memory serves. Mistum going to be getting aggressive. Excuse me. Mistum finds the first frag. It's Shanks who's getting aggressive here as he pushes through the middle doors off the back of a flashbang. Zero Chance trying to lock it down from CT, but he's also going to get taken down. Still, though, the trades are there. And it is Sinister 5 who are dealing the damage at the moment. Shanks tapping away. He's going to find a frag, but that's all it's going to be. And Sinister 5 pick up the first pistol round here.
Jeez, that's not the same person, surely, that picture of Flexi.
I didn't even see it.
He looks so young and fresh.
Oh, it's that one when he was in Carbon? That was a photo from 3.5 years ago.
He didn't have facial hair yet or anything? No. Yeah, quite different. Meanwhile, this is not different from what we were expecting. The 1-0 there on the CT pistol for Sinister 5. They will buy up Exastrus, going for the force buy, and a lot of emphasis towards long out of both teams. Surely this is going to be a bit of a shooting gallery here for Sinister 5.
That flashbang means that they all run into each other. Eventually, Clown's able to get out, but run straight into the bullets. Divo and Zero Chance, they have long on lockdown right now. Only one player left in the way of Dingo, and as you said, this was a force buy from Exastrus, so they need to try and find something in this round to take back to the shed, whether it's a couple frags doing some economic damage, a bomb plant. You want to take something away from the force buy. Although it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Drops a smoke to try and retrieve the bomb, but he's just going to get chased down by Zero Chance. Sinister 5 with a bit of aggression there towards Long, shutting Exastrus down. Is there any hope at all here for Exastrus?
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure there is either.
No, I think also that call out of them for just rush along with the force buy, considering they wouldn't have much in the way of utility. It's a very puggy thing to do, and that's great. But against Sinister 5, they're definitely going to put a lot of emphasis towards Long because it's one of those areas on the map that you need a boss as the CT. So very unlikely it's going to work out, and it doesn't. I also liked watching Divo there with his little shoulder peek. That's something a lot of players will over peek with the shoulder peek, trying to bait out a shot. But Divo, he's aware of how big his view model is, and of course he knows that you can't actually see the person if you're shoulder peeking. So
yeah, this is true.
I like watching people do fundamentals well.
You and me both. Good Counter-Strike is always fun to watch. I wonder if it's in the back of the Sinister 5, in the back of their minds, that they lost the game to Gravity at the start of the season, so they may be a little bit more passive in their approach here against Exastrus, just making sure that they do stick to their basics, fundamentals, and protocols. Looks like Exastrus are going to be going for a basic execute through the smoke here to try and get a bomb plant, but we've seen what a force to be reckoned with. Mistim is over at this B bomb site as he immediately snaps up 2 frags, adds a third to his tally as well.
He could ace,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, he could ace, yeah.
Oh, and he does. Missed him.
Zero Chance just does a bit of damage to Clown, and that's all he needs. 1 clip, 5 frags, way too easy.
It sounds like the production guys might have enjoyed that too. I can hear some.
I don't even get hyped about this because it's an eco round, and you just expect Mistim to do these things at this point. He's really got good spatial awareness. I think that's one of his most impressive features.
Yeah, a lot of players would overpeak that and try to fight them. He does fight them, but he uses the obstacles in the bomb site to his advantage, which, as you say, requires a lot of that spatial awareness. Now, X-Ash just getting a lot of control towards Long. Sinister 5 doing the other thing that you can do as a CT, which is just leave it entirely. Either you're going to fight it or you're going to leave it. You can't do half measures at Long A.
Yeah, but if you're going to leave Long, then you need to take short control, and that's exactly what they've done. Zero Chance all the way forward aggressively with the AWP, looking towards the top of middle. I'd assume he's playing with the smoke to cover him from lowers. That's the problem with the angle, is it does have a lifespan. You can't just continue to hold it forever and always. And he's going to get some action here, playing around the corner. He's going to be able to take down Clown. In fact, he finds him just before the flash pops, drops some utility of his own to make sure he does get out alive. And that was a nice heads-up play there from Zero Chance. Finds the first frag, keeps himself alive, and gets that early advantage for his team.
If you're the T's there and you see a smoke, you've got to know that the CTs are getting aggressive behind it. It's just kind of unforgivable. They don't do anything, just dry peek it. Now Flexi fighting the corner here, gets the 1 kill. Creation also pretty low, so I don't think he's going to be able to create much on 12 HP.
Yeah, hopefully he's able to do something in the round. Divo shutting down Dingo towards Long, and Flexi is just doing so much work from short. He finds a triple kill with that from us. Upgrades to the SG and the economy. Look at the economy already, Mike.
Jeez.
4 of the 5 players already over that $5,000 mark inside the first 3 rounds. So yeah, this is exactly what we expected. Excuse me, the first 4 rounds, but still, this is exactly the sort of performance I expected from Sinister 5. Just complete domination. I know it's early days, but they're certainly going to be wanting to build on those performances that they just had in the previous weekend against Goliath and Big 5 and show that that wasn't just a positive run of play. There is actually, well, of course there's the consistency and there's the potential, but you want to make sure that you're winning these easier games without making it look too difficult.
So that's already Hackham, the SG553, out of the equation, the one player on the side that does use it. Flexi dropped it to him, and then he got dropped by Dingo. Clown, if he finds the timing here through the smoke, could actually work for him.
Yeah, he's actually going to be able to catch Flexi off guard. Yeah, there's no way he expects him to be so close. Really good play there from Clown, using that smoke to his advantage. An early 2-man advantage here for Exastrus. They only have the pistols and the SG to work with, but that advantage in the way of manpower certainly going to be making a difference, and they're just going to push straight into this B bomb site, which Mistim has vacated in their way of supporting middle. Goes back to the information and realizes that Exastrus are looking to take the control, and they're going to fight him head on, which is generally not the best idea against Mistim.
Zero Chance got problems of his own on the A bomb site. He can't rotate because of this player that's just wasting his time here. He can't go anywhere. And his teammates need his help. Finally, he's going to get the kill. Divo coming in on the flank, and that does leave Badger all alone. It could have gone so wrong there for Sinister 5, but somehow they keep their heads, Matt.
They didn't even lose another player after those first 2 frags came through from X-Astros. Mistum doing a fantastic job there, taking down 1 player before X-Astros crossed onto the bomb side, and they're not fighting at all after that. The Mistum of old, probably re-aggressive, goes for some more peaks, pop flashes himself through, tries to keep control, but now we see the maturity coming through. He makes sure he waits for his teammates to come through, allows Divo to find that pick from the back. And Sinister 5, they get tested in that round, but they still come out on top. And we now head into another buy round. No surprise that it's very simple from X-Astros, just flashing straight out of long, trying to get Dingo that control with the AWP, see if he can find a shot. If he doesn't, probably just re-aggress towards short, try and find something in return. But Clown already lost his life. Double AWP here for X-Astros, Mike.
That's a bit of an odd one. It's not without precedent, but still. It's one of those things you wouldn't expect to see too much of. Creation as well, one with your AWP. You'd expect kind of double AWP would be Clown, would be the other guy, but...
Yeah, Creation clearly knows how to wield the weapon.
Do you like the boost, yeah? So
yeah.
If Divo does decide to aggress out along, probably gets caught out by Shanks.
He's hearing a lot of footsteps towards middle as well, so he may be convinced to try and get aggressive through here and find some extra control. But Shanks is going to have to drop down from here eventually, and that will give a sound cue away. Looks like X-Astros are going to go for the split onto the A bomb side here, and a nice shot from Creation is going to take down Zero Chance. Divo, though, has got the angle on Shanks, and that means that he can now focus towards short. He's locking it down with a double kill. Doesn't even take a single point of damage. Great work by him as Dingo is left by himself now with the AWP. 1 versus 4 here for him, and it seems like Sinister 5 know exactly where he is. They've got the bomb on lockdown as well, and it's just a matter of time before he gets taken down. 6-0 is the scoreline.
Well, it was AWP versus Sand Dune M4A4, and apparently the worst skin that you can possibly buy. It's pretty good in the hands of somebody like Flexi. I do think, hey, somebody donate him an M4 maybe. I mean,
well, if he doesn't want it, you can send it my way.
Okay,
maybe he likes his Sand Dune, some sentimental value.
You never know. I mean, there's that guy that I know who stuck an iBuyPower Hollow stick on a P250 Sand Dune. So. And
then you've got Detrony, who's got the Howl sticker on a MP9 Sand Dune. But I've asked him about that one, and he said he was gifted that. So okay. I'm not gonna blame him for that one. Putting one of the more expensive stickers in the game on one of the cheapest guns.
Yeah, it doesn't automatically up the value.
Yeah, it's like putting a Ferrari sticker on like a City Golf or something.
Red like City Golf with Ferrari stickers on the quarter panels. You know?
Exactly, man.
Oh,
it's all about the aesthetics, Mike. Come on. I thought you knew this by now.
Yeah, well, the aesthetics and the optics of this one aren't good for X-Astros. 6-0 to Sinister 5, looking good. And yeah, there's been a couple nice kills coming from the X-Astros guys, but Sinister 5's ability to turn things around even when it's looked bad a couple of times. Pretty impressive, very measured sort of approach out of them, and that's kind of what you'd expect. There's a lot of experience in the side, and yeah, it's been kind of the Mistum show still.
There is a lot of experience in the side indeed. All 5 of these players have actually been around for a decent amount of time, in fact. Some more so than others, of course, like the likes of Zero Chance and Hackham.
Venerable
pillars of the South African Counter-Strike scene.
Yeah, I think they are synonymous with local Counter-Strike. Heard their names in many a game. Very aggressive here out of Divo and Co. I think he spotted the head.
Definitely spotted the head.
They're sticking around, yeah. This could potentially bite them, but I don't know. The aim's so crisp out of Divo. Finds the first one.
You don't want to see Sinister 5 getting caught in this trap, though, where they think they can just win any fight that they take, because that's what cost Energy the map against Gravity.
And it cost Sinister 5 earlier in the season against Gravity as well.
Exactly. That's what I was saying at the start of this match. I wonder if they've got that result in the back of their minds, which is just going to keep them a bit calm in their approach right now, making sure they don't get too confident. Clown was able to get all the way onto the A bomb site, but Flexi doesn't get caught off, and Sinister 5 dealing the damage.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Shanks in a sandwich there that he didn't want to be part of.
Yeah, that's involuntary, to say the least. Oh, nice shot from Creation. That was pretty quick. He's actually hit a couple quick shots now, first with the AWP and now with the Desert Eagle.
Still got his Terry Loves Yogurt flair there for. That's pretty cool. Well, that would have tipped us off if not for anything else.
This is true. I miss Panda, I must say.
Out in Australia now, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Off to Australia, mate. He used to go regularly on holiday. He's got family that lives on that side of the world. Now moved across permanently. Definitely left a void in his wake. Anyway, Xastra's going to try and execute out towards long. Nice flash indeed. A self-flash from Flexi as well. He's going to be able to take down Badger. And he's got a lot more to do.
Flexi?
Well, that was really quick to find the second. Divo does take down Creation, so the trade is there. Sinister 5 working well in pairs, making sure nobody's left to their own devices. And Mr. He should catch the timing here, and he does. Oh no! Goes for the spray down. He's going to have a second crack there as Clown rears his head up again.
Bit of whack-a-mole.
Yeah, indeed. Dingo by himself. Dapper Dingo. Looking to do some damage. Does
nice suit.
He is a nice. He does have a nice suit. I was going to say he is a nice suit. Dingo does land a shot there onto Hackham, or missed him rather. Looking to inflict some economic damage here at the bare minimum. And you can see Sinister 5 not giving anything away right now. And why would you? Still in T-spawn. You can't plant the bomb in T-spawn.
Well, if you could, it would be a very, very different game.
Yeah, that's kind of defeats the purpose to a degree.
They give him a bit of space. I guess they don't want to lose too many players to him. He probably will run in. It's a bit of a roadblock as he goes in, yeah.
Though. I think they could buy in the next round if he saved, and he'd have the AWP to work with, but he's going to be pushing straight into Hackham, who should take him down. He's assuming the B-bomb site's completely open. Hackham whiffs the shots. That's going to allow Dingo to rattle off one of his own. Rotations are coming through at this point. Dingo actually hasn't identified he's hiding in the corner, and now he's going to realize, surely Dingo comes out with the frag here. No, Hackham able to stay alive for long enough for Divo to come through and make sure that he does find that frag. 8-0 is the scoreline, and a fantastic start here for Sinister 5.
Yep, that's the half win for them and cleanly done. X-Astris, well, now as you said, they could have maybe bought around the AWP. They've now got a couple players a little bit low, so they're going to need to either drop weapons or go for something lesser, as Dingo does, in fact, from an AWP to a UMP.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
It does feel bad indeed. Certainly could have gone for the save, but they're just going to go straight for the B rusher. That incendiary is going to be blocking them off, and there is no smoke ready to shut it down. They're actually just to revert themselves to middle as a result. This is one part of the map that they could try and exploit. Just overwhelm the person who's tasked with locking it down from Sinister 5's perspective. Try and segregate the players on the A and the B bomb side with the smoke towards CT. And it seems like that's going to be the case here as they try and make a B split happen. Though Divo getting aggressive up short. He's going to be the backstabber here as he does take Shanks' head clean off. Well, the Clown's been able to get quite far forward here as he pushes up through window. He should be catching these players off guard, but the flashbang from his teammate blinds him up, and that means he's only going to be able to find the one. Missed him using his phone to his advantage. Missed him. Both of them before he goes down, but the frag's still coming through from Creation, picking up 2 of his own. Flexi trades it out and reduces it to the 1v1 against Dingo. Left in the clutch here once again. Using the angle to his advantage, Dingo, he wants to cross. He's got a smoke, so he could just drop the smoke and guarantee the cross. Maybe he's waiting for some aggression from Flexi, seeing if he can catch him off guard. He's actually just going to continue to push forward here. Maybe he has other plans for the smoke. You can plant safely behind that box.
Flexi going to walk through it?
Go for the fake
Oh my word.
But the timing's worked out so well for Flexi. He knows exactly where Dingo is. Oh my word, he is playing with his food right now. Stop it, Flexi.
Oh,
He cost him his life. He gets brought down to 20 health. He actually didn't really have any clear-cut chance to take that frag before then. Sort of Dingo working around the box there made it difficult, but he comes out nonetheless.
Jeez, if he died there, I think... Well, yeah, that's huge tilt. That custom-made keyboard isn't living through that one, you know?
Well, don't worry, he's got 6 more in the cupboard. This man has built lots of keyboards in his life, Mike. I can like him to James Bardolph.
G-Max.
Very similar, or G-Max as well, for a local reference indeed.
Yeah, well, he gets it across the line. Dingo nearly making it happen for his team. Sorry, Badger.
Yeah, he's been in a couple clutch situations already. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to make any of them work as of yet. So the Org's being put to good use here today. We saw the man using it effectively earlier. Missed him putting it to good use.
Oh.
Dingo. Lapse in concentration there. Tries to throw the bomb across. Costs him his life. Meanwhile, two of his teammates, they're going to try and make their way onto this B-bomb site, but it's on heavy lockdown right now between Mistum and Hackham, and neither of them are going to go down. Hackham racks up 2 frags and makes sure that that B-bomb site remains on a lockdown.
No kills in the round.
This is just there's a clear skill difference between these two teams right now. And I mean, I'm not surprised, but Sinister 5 are doing exactly what we expected from them, which is refreshing, actually.
Thank goodness. I think we've seen too many top teams dropping the ball in this in ECL so far, taking the minnows a little bit too lightly. Exactly. Including Sinister 5. So once bitten, twice shy, and oof, what a bite there out of the cat.
Yeah.
Flexi.
Flexi's looking really good this game, isn't he? He's 14-3 at the moment, so that's nearly a 5 kill death ratio.
He saw himself on TV, and his family said, "Hey, we see you on TV, Flex," and it's just like he's empowered now.
Yeah, certainly full of confidence based off of the performance that we're seeing.
10-0. This is super clean and clinical out of Sinister 5, and this is exactly again what we've wanted to see out of the top teams. Finally.
Yeah. 100%. That's why I was saying it's actually refreshing to see what we expected to happen going down. Zero chance he's going to be getting the audio cues that X-Astros are getting very aggressive as all 5 of the players are pushing up short and Sinister 5 are rotating across accordingly. Flexi, he may get caught off, not aware that a player is so far forward. That player is Dingo, and he's going to overextend, looking to take somebody down with him. Divo burns down Clown, and this is looking like lambs to a slaughter right now, being corralled into their slaughterhouse.
Yep, well,
this is one-sided.
Lamb stew, I think, on the menu after that.
Hey, I've got oxtail waiting at home.
You do?
I do.
I'm a little jealous.
Thank you, Dad. Still living that life where parents make amazing food for me, you know.
How's your cooking, Matt?
It's actually really good, eh?
It is.
It's actually really good, yeah. If I can toot my own horn, I enjoy cooking.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. Well, good to know, hey.
No, I was thinking you can come over to my house and cook me dinner, thanks.
Yeah, we'll have to see, Mike. We'll have to see. A bit more time will tell. X-Astros, well, time's telling a bit of a tale right now for them. And it's not the most positive story as of yet. Zero chance. Super with York. Wow, he's there by himself.
That
rolls
was a
back
flick.
the years, lands an impressive flick shot, and he's not done there either. But Badger,
easy angle dives to it, lands the flick shot.
But you see, that's a symptom of over-aggression and overconfidence, and I don't blame them for making those plays, but that's the only reason he went down there. After finding that first frag, he had no reason to hang around there.
Certainly feeling it. Now, up short are these players that are X-Astros. Could potentially win this one. It is a 3v3, so this is probably the best chance they've had outside of that 1v1. Shanks should spot them, and that's Hackham going down. So on Flexi, on Mistem, the 2 clutch masters in this team.
Yeah, they both have 14 frags as well. 28 between the 2 of them. So it's actually 16 for Flexi. So 30 between the 2 of them. Add 1 more to his count as he destroys Dingo. And he's actually going to be mollying. Is that Badger out of position? It is indeed. And he's actually going to have to use his smoke to keep himself alive. That nade's going to do a ton of damage, but he's still alive and kicking. That's the most important part. He looks to take the fight, though. Flexi with the flick on the AK. Destroys him. And Mistem finds Shanks. The heavy-hitting young duo doing the damage, man.
Yowza. This is some crazy stuff out of these Sinister 5 youngsters.
You said it last weekend, though. You said if Flexi can hit that form at the end of 2016, early 2017, Sinister 5, there's no reason they can't be the best team in South Africa.
Agreed. I mean, that was the only player that really wasn't jumping, and it's crazy. Hackham is on 2 kills, but he's barely had to do anything.
Well, those 2 kills was a double kill on the B-bomb side as well, by the way. So the one time he had a job, he did do it. This is amazing. I'm really happy to see this from Sinister 5. Of course, it's a pity from X-Astros' perspective, but they can't be disheartened by this. They are going up against one of the best teams in the country. Oh, man. Zero chance. When you see Zero Chance playing with this sort of confidence, you know that the team is absolutely brimming. Creation finding another frag there onto Flexi, so at least that does get a bit of control here for X-Astros to work with. They're going to try and make their way over towards the A-bomb site, so they should be able to get across unscathed here as well. I don't think Hackham has an angle through that smoke.
Unless he gets lucky.
Yeah, as it starts to dissipate, there's something, but not immediately. Missed the
rotation.
He's going to get the backstab. Yeah, he should be able to find 1 at the minimum. Immediately takes down Creation. The bomb plant's going to come through here for Badger, but surely he does not have a hope in this 1 versus 3. And he's going to get immediately taken down by Hackham, who, again, gets a 3rd frag. Always there for the impact frags, making sure he does his part.
Contributing positively, 13-0. Well, I'm not going to say it yet.
Yeah,
but
don't want you to jinx it.
No, I did do that the other time with Gravity against X-Astros, didn't I?
Yeah, I personally, I don't believe in the jinx, but it's always fun.
We're on the jinx.
We are on the jinx.
On the jinx TV.
I was going J-I-N-X.
Okay, just clarification.
Just clarification. I don't want to lose my job.
13-0. Well, Sinister 5, certainly everybody doing their job and justifying their part in this team. X-Astrus, a couple of nice individual moments, but not been enough to get them across the line. Zero chance. He's, as you said, so confident, being so aggressive. Would never do this against other teams, but he knows his teammates have got his back.
Still looking to make plays. He's itching right now, Mike. He's itching for those frags.
That can sometimes bite you, as we saw with energy earlier on, but you know, Zero Chance fighting his baser impulses there, gets out of dodge, gets himself to a safer position. Divo now pushing forward. Hasn't done this much so far. I mean, we saw him do this once in the entire game, so I don't think X-Astrus are necessarily going to be ready for it.
Yeah, and he's got the perfect timing. The audio cues should be there. No, he's still going to catch Badger off guard, and he's got a couple more lined up as well. Finds Shanks, and that leaves Clown between a rock and a hard place, to say the least. Excuse me, it's actually Creation. Clown's going to get taken down over at the B-bomb site. Missed him and Hackham, the ever-present duo at that B-bomb site. They have it on lockdown. And Sinister 5 not setting a foot wrong on the CT side.
Loving the use of the Augs on Dust too as well, because you've got so many long angles. It's a very useful weapon for that. Much tougher kills to find with a regular M4 at that sort of range.
Yeah, for sure. Completely agreed with you. Using the weapons to their strengths. Still favouring the AK over the AUG though. Understandable there.
Yeah, well, the one tap still very possible with that. 14-0. Last round of the half. This one might be quick. And on the angle, I thought Badger might get it, and he does at the second bite.
Second bite finds the frag. Always go back for seconds, guys. Missed him getting aggressive though. He should be able to find these players with the spray down. He's only going to get one. Zero Chance goes down as well, so all of a sudden a two-man advantage here for X-Astrus. And Hackham, well, he's being called upon here. And he is going to get wrapped around as well. So he's got a massive job on this B-bomb side. He finds the first frag. He's trying to buy as much time as possible, but Creation with the AWP is going to shut him down.
Very fast.
Still alive and kicking though. All the potential in the world for him to make this 1 versus 2 a reality. He's got some util as well to try and aid his cause in getting in towards this B-bomb side. An incendiary and a flash to be specific.
Might actually choose to be quiet rather, just to...
Oh, he's going to have to go ahead of the molly. Unfortunately, his crosshair placement is just off there, not ready for Creation's peak. So, X-Astrus get themselves on the board.
Flexi, 20-5. Missed him 18-3. Divo, 19-5. That's some sobering reading, as you say, on the board for X-Astrus. But I mean, at that point, you're either crying or you're laughing if you're X-Astrus. It's either like,
and hopefully it's the latter.
Yes, because it's just, yeah, you're being crushed at this stage. So not many rounds left in this game unless X-Astrus get off to a great start on CT side and start to build their innings. Sinister 5, however, will be in no mood to give them those rounds. And I see a different approach from Sinister 5, actually going towards catwalk rather than rushing everywhere like a lot of teams would at this point.
They've got some visitors here to try and deal with in the way of Clown and Creation. And Clown's going to be able to find one. The trade is there, though. And Flexi goes one further as he finds Creation as well. And that's going to sound the bell to make their way onto this A-bomb site. Badger, though, still doing a bit of damage. And he's managed to keep himself alive here.
Oh,
Unfortunately, he doesn't realize that his head is still open because he is ducking. And frags are plenty here. Missed him and Divo, the 2 players remaining. Can Shanks make the clutch happen to keep his team in this game? Of course, if X-Astrus lose, the Sinister 5 get to map points, and you expect them to close the game out from there. Gonna try and throw a long flash to get himself towards this bomb site.
dinked.
Yeah. dinked, dead.
15-1, Sinister 5 now very close to closing this first map of the best of 2 series out. And nice work out of Flexi. Yeah, labors a little bit over the second one, but does get, and he actually dinked the player in the sight as well with his first shot before he died. So getting a lot of work done as Flexi.
Yeah, he certainly hasn't slowed down throughout this game. Dingo with the scout, not connecting on anything, unfortunately. He had 3 shots there, nothing comes of it. And, well, they're trying to evade the flash, which means they turn away from Creation. Hackham's still able to pick that one up, and he's leading the charge onto this A-bomb site. No time being wasted here by Sinister 5. They've got their eyes on the prize right now. Flexi is looking sharp at the moment.
My
Wow.
goodness.
Beautiful stuff from him.
Eviscerating the opposition, and, well, that is the death knell in this particular map. We'll be going to a second map pretty soon, but it's going to be a little bit of a longer break than we would have gone for before. Will it?
You just got wrecked.
Did I? Okay.
Just got absolutely wrecked by the production.
I don't know. I don't know.
You live on TV.
I don't know about that. I have to repeat what they say, so I think they played themselves.
16-1, Sinister 5, absolutely destroying X-Astris. Flexi, Divo, missed him. The three young guns are unstoppable, apparently.
I think Flexi's upset that I played his video. That's probably why he just quickly made like...
Rage frag.
He's just like, done. I'm done with it.
Yeah, let's just get this over and done with. Okay,
Or
cool.
he was really confident. It's like, yeah, everyone knows who I am. Let me show the face, or the name behind the face, show them how capable.
No, he's not, because I had a look at the chat and he said, Nate, me and you are going to have some words.
Oh,
after
really?
this."
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I wonder what he expected. I mean,
No, he's quite chilled about it.
yeah.
Although Dingo wasn't quite happy about, because I've got a video of Dingo, but
Oh, yeah.
we
We
don't
haven't
have to
seen
show
it.
that. Yeah, we won't show it now. We'll do we might do a social media release.
Shouldn't we play it before the next match?
Yeah, I feel like you're keeping me weighted here with bated breath.
Yeah, we haven't seen Dingo. We want to see Dingo,
I want
eh?
to see Dingo. What does he have to say, man?
No, it's fine. We'll release some social media.
All right. If that's
So
the case.
good result there, obviously, for Sinister 5. I
Yeah.
mean, they're looking super strong, really, compared to the other teams that played up against X-Astris. So I don't know. I mean, it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, I guess.
Heading into the next map, I'm not sure there's too many predictions required.
No.
I think it's fairly straightforward that X-Astris are going to pick up the W.
Yeah.
Cough, cough.
Yes, I
Just playing around here, Kappa. /S.
Are we going to see another 16-0?
Well, we haven't seen one yet.
Like, no, we had one earlier on in this tournament.
Did we?
No.
Wasn't there one?
It was a 16-1
Oh,
between
okay,
X-Astris
sorry.
and Gravity, yeah.
Are we going to see another 61?
Sorry, Nate, just to throw you under the bus there.
I thought it was a 16-0.
No.
That's...
There's every potential. I mean, we are
Yeah.
heading into X-Astris' map pick next, which is Mirage, so maybe.
Yeah, and Sinister 5 have never played Mirage before.
Never.
We haven't seen them. They don't even have the map installed on it. No, I'm just kidding. It's just one of those maps that everybody plays. We keep talking about it. Sinister 5 know what they're on about on that map. And that was the map that they won twice in Syntec Masters to get to the final. That was even with a different lineup, and they were dominant on the map. Now with Flexi popping off, with Mistim doing his thing, Zero Chance full of energy and vigor. You know, the old bones actually coming alive again.
He's not really that old, but yeah.
I know, he's younger than me.
Contextually speaking.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But obviously, from what I
Yeah.
could see here, I could definitely see an X-Astris team that just wasn't performing because DMS wasn't there. I mean, when DMS was there was some sort of structure at the moment. I'm not really seeing that in this team at the moment.
Completely agree with
They're
you, Nate.
kind of all over the place.
Yep,
They're trying to do
100%.
something. It's not really happening.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe just a case of going back to the drawing board and just trying to figure something out. I mean, last map here, hopefully they can pull something back, but I doubt it. I don't think they're going to.
I mean, Creation actually looked like the best player in that game for X-Astris, which is not really what you want, is your new stand-in to be performing the best.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that is also something just to consider, but we don't know. Maybe, you know, they'll work on something going into the other tournaments and other leagues, etc. Mike, from your side, just a quick kind of recap of that first map. Is it pretty much what we said, or was there anything else that
Give
you
us
can add
one
to it?
word, Mike. One word.
Oof.
I like it.
That didn't go well at all for X-Astris. It couldn't have gone better for Sinister 5, except for maybe the 16-0. And even then, it had every chance of going that way, with it being in a clutch situation that went against them. Every other thing they did worked, just about. And even when it did come down to a couple of clutch opportunities, it looked like Sinister 5 had it under control. Their players weren't chasing the game. They were calm. They knew what they were doing. The guys on the other side from X-Astris looking very anxious in the way they're trying to chase some of those kills down. And I think, again, that just shows a team that's just they're not in control because they don't have that controlling force kind of just guiding where they need to go.
Yep.
I really hope we see Sinister 5 employing the same tactics heading into the second map, and they still stick to their basics and make sure that they are playing the proper Counter-Strike, employing their protocols and not throwing that all out of the window now because they're playing
Don't
against
do an
X-Astris
energy.
and they just beat them 16-1. Don't pull an energy. So I hope that we see such a clinical performance out of them on Mirage as well.
I don't think that's going to happen, because they are super clinical right now. In the state of mind and the frame of mind that they've got at the moment, it's super clinical.
I
But
agree with you, yeah.
on that note, will Sinister 5 close out this 2-0 against Team X-Astris, or will Team X-Astris jump back and possibly take a draw here and upset the table? We'll find out soon after the commercial break.
No worries, that was fun.
Welcome back to the Evetech Champions League match day 7. With me on the desk, of course, Mike and Matt. Gentlemen, we are into map 2 here between Sinister 5 and, of course, Exastrus. Looking at that first map performance, not so good for Exastrus. Obviously, with the fact that they've lost their IGL, their in-game leader. He's not partaking in this last match because he's obviously left the team. And there's a bit of a void now in that team now. I mean, Cloud's kind of taken over the role for a little bit, but is that going to be a definite? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect that if he's not the permanent IGL, they're going to be looking for somebody to come in and do that job, but it was very evident that they were lacking somebody to do the proper job there with the calling. They were all over the place. There was no consistency, no game plan, and they just got outright shut down.
I think there was consistency. I actually just want to completely go against what you said there. They consistently lost those rounds.
Okay, that was probably the only form of consistency, but other than that, they were completely all over the shop.
So before we get into predictions, we're going to talk about the predictor app quickly. ECLpredictor.com. Go there. It's pretty simple. You can use your mobile, you can use your laptop, you can use anything that's got a web browser, basically. It's not an app that you have to download. You go there, you predict these games. Every week, you stand a chance of winning one of these cool, awesome hampers provided by Evetech and Lenovo Legion. Right in front of me, you can see there's an awesome backpack on the side, a massive mouse pad, and then, of course, Legion peripherals. It's an awesome headset and mouse, and then, of course, the pop socket, which we have got some memes about. There's a meme challenge for that. That's the social challenge that you also have a chance of winning one of these actual backpacks, also these hampers provided by Evetech and Lenovo. Let's quickly see if we can find the graphic for that, just so that the viewers, you still can stand a chance of winning it. We are announcing the winners for the predictor tomorrow and, of course, the social media challenge. You need to tweet at Lenovo Africa, at Evetech, and then hashtag ECL2019. And the challenge is obviously to make a meme with the pop socket and one of the presenter staff.
So tell us, what does a pop socket do?
The pop socket, well, it goes behind your cell phone. There we go. Okay, that's one of the actual.
Yeah, I love me some Evetech pop sockets.
It's funny enough, you had a generic pop socket, but now you're just like, no, I want an Evetech one.
Do I?
Or do you still have a?
No, this isn't a pop socket. That's VW.
Oh, no, that's just a sticker. But you had one, I remember, or something like that. But
Okay.
this is relevant.
Yeah,
You look
this
very
is
keen
relevant.
in that picture, man.
What's that?
You look very keen in that picture, man.
Yeah, that's just the face that I make when I think about Evetech pop sockets, Mike.
That is the challenge, by the way, for the viewers out there. As you can see, Taufik at Tap Hanome.
You should have tapped for gnome.
Phenome.
PH.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Tap Phenome. What is Tap Phenome?
I don't know, maybe we shouldn't be saying it on stream if we
Yeah,
don't know what it
let's
means.
not.
Yeah, it's a phone thing.
Okay, but anyway,
Phone home.
what does the pop socket do, Nate?
So the pop socket goes behind the phone. So
Do you need a phone to illustrate?
no, it's fine. You put it behind the phone, obviously, and it extends out a little bit, and you can actually take the phone and tilt it and put it down and actually have a slight angle on the phone on the table so you can watch something like the ECL, of course. We are on Twitter, live streaming. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. And we're on Jinx TV, channel 127, on DSTV, of course. So we've got a lot of platforms, actually. I think this is the most platforms that any esports tournament in South Africa has been broadcasted to.
Yeah. I'd
At
be
any given
surprised
time.
if It wasn't, yeah.
Yeah.
5 to be
And
precise.
the technical team up, or the production team upstairs, have been like, they really want to send this out to Instagram as well.
Wow.
And I'm
We
like,
could do that.
yeah, maybe for the finals we might do Instagram.
Leave no stone
I'll-
unturned.
I'll have a chat, obviously.
Can
Maybe
we be live on Periscope and Snapchat too?
Oh, jeez, here's this guy.
no, I don't know. I'm not the technical stream engineers. But anyway, guys, let's get back to the game now. We've obviously got this last match here, and this is pretty much we're halfway now into the last match weekend for the group stages. And that is important for every single team. As you can see,
Yeah.
Gravity fighting it out there against Energy Sports, managing to get the draw, but not good enough for them. Sinister 5, they've got that first map win. They pretty much have now qualified, as far as I understand, because they should be able to pick up a point now.
Yes.
At minimum. So they go above Gravity Gaming, and that's great for them. Team Exastrus needed to beat Sinister 5-2-0 here in order to give Gravity the chance.
Yes,
But
exactly.
Like you said, but it's no longer the
No longer a hope.
yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at obviously Exastrus, you know, after that first game, I mean, we can talk about Sinister 5 all day. We've got like a couple of the players there that are just really firing on all. How many cylinders? 5 cylinders? 6 cylinders?
Like the V12, yo.
Yeah, 12 cylinders. There you go.
W16 in a Bugatti.
Oh, jeez. Always the one up.
Exastrus, on the Exastrus side, looking at that player lineup there quickly, like from your side, Matt, who do you think could potentially upset this a little bit?
Creation. he showed some good potential there in that first game. He had some snappy shots. He was pretty quick with his aim, and maybe he can have 1 or 2 rounds where he finds that triple kill, opens up the situation for his teammates to move in. Maybe they find some hope of racking up a couple of rounds, putting some scoreboard pressure on Sinister 5. Maybe they get 7 or 8, who knows? But I don't think that there is many things that could change the end results of this game, which we are jumping straight into. So, without further ado, Sinister 5 on the CT side, X-Astrus on the T side. And they have taken full control of the A bomb site, have X-Astrus. So, a very similar pistol strat to what we saw out of Energy against Gravity, but somehow Flexi's able to come through the murder hole, and he does the murdering as he picks up a double. Looking for more, though. He's not done. Mistum chimes in with the frag of his own. X-Astrus were looking great, considering what they had to work with. But Sinister 5 making this look like child's play, Mike.
Yeah, making it look easy. I have no idea how Flexi gets out of the murder hole where you're supposed to have no opportunity to get through there. I mean, there was a player watching it.
No, he wasn't. That was what I was about to say to you. Where was Shanks watching? He was looking towards snipers or jungle. He wasn't actually focused on the vent, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only thing you need to watch when you get into that position. So,
oops.
And that completely unraveled everything, because as soon as Flexi found those 2 kills, everyone on the A bomb side was looking towards jungle. Mistum found a frag, and the rest is history.
Do you think he needs a Legion Y740 there with the 144 Hz screen?
I think everyone
make sure actually see what was coming through the hole.
Yeah, I think that might help a little bit.
Might indeed. Pistols on X-Astrus.
Yep.
That's not much to work with when you're facing the full fury of Flexi and Sinister 5. Flexi getting really aggressive in middle for that information.
Yeah, they go for the savior. Deagles across the board. They got that bomb plant in the previous round, so they're going to be able to go for the buy in the 3rd round. If they could find a bomb plant here, that would certainly just beef their economy up a little bit. But Sinister 5, they're in no mood to be playing for retakes over at the A bomb site. You can see Divo right close to the choke point there with the MP9, and he's got support from Mistum holding down default, and he's going to be able to pick up the triple. You can always bank on him to find that multi-kill. He's just so consistent. And that's not a common thing to have in a player who's consistently finds these multi-frags.
Yeah, I think it's again a change in watching how he's played. He seems to have come into his own when he's given this opportunity to be the star player, whereas I think in Energy, even in the previous lineup of Energy, he was just one of several star players in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously you had Black Poison in that previous lineup. Last year you had Flexi there.
Dom Kani as well.
Big name.
Yeah.
So, there's not a lot of space for you to have a starring role. And you're the junior player, whereas, before when he was in Sinister 5 in the first half of last year, he was dropping 30 so often, looking like one of the best players in SA. Now in a situation where he can do that again, nice follow-up there. I enjoy that flash out of them to just make sure that Divo can go for more information.
And he can't get chased down if there is some more players coming through, so it offers support in that way as well. Shanks getting aggressive here up middle. One of the few players who said to me that he really does use this gun often and he loves it. So no surprise to see him picking it up in the first buy round here. The ESG 553 to be precise. Krieg, if you are a cultured man.
Of yield 1.6, eh?
Yeah.
Well then, why don't you call an M for a cult?
Got me there, Mike. Got me there because I'm an uncultured beanbag, that's why.
Okay.
Hack him with a great angle here as he's gotten aggressive through a pop. He's going to be completely blinded. He doesn't get checked. He's still able to get Dingo. Dingo felt, maybe I should just look behind us. And he's absolutely correct. Flexi now on the B bomb side. Got it on lockdown as he picks up the double. This was the buy round for X-Astrus, and Clown is now the only player remaining. 1 versus 3 for him. He's going to swing wide, but missed him. Ready and waiting does take him down. And Sinister 5, well, they complete the first objective, winning this buy round. It felt like once they got Hackham, they may be able to get themselves onto the B bomb site swiftly, but the rotation was there. Flexi was waiting.
3-0, pretty clean, clinical out of Sinister 5. Yet again, X-Astrus on the pistols. Not a full force, of course, a little bit too early in the game for them to have accumulated enough to go for a full-on force buy. So, and still retain enough money, I'd say, going into a proper buy round after this. So, gonna just be hoping they can catch somebody off guard, but missed him. Well, any choke point he seems to have completely locked down. He's like a force field.
Yeah, really is. And then he's got support there from Divo as well. Divo, rather. Dylan Forster. That's how he came up with his name. Divo. Missed him. Locking it down here on the opposite side of the smoke. All three players are just going to push into their death.
He wants an ace.
He wants the ace. He seems to get aces every game at this point. This time he's going to get shut down by Shanks' Desert Eagle. He's actually been able to find 2 quick kills, but he's being hotly pursued here by Zero Chance, and he is going to be able to take him down. Did you know that? That Divo's name came from the combination of his first and second name? Dylan Forster.
It's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious, but did you know it?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, I think Mr. maybe just getting ahead of himself a little bit there, but too wide with that last peak to try and secure his second ace.
yeah, nearly did. Not far off, just the lone frag that escaped him. Exastras were able to do a bit of economic damage in that round. They need to get the ball rolling a lot earlier here on the T side than they did on Dust. They can't allow Sinister
Oh,
Five
there's
to
a
get
gap.
such a big lead. Oh, but unfortunately for Zero Chance, that wall actually covered that gap, so he wasn't able to spot the players getting across.
I like the detail out of Divo throwing the flash over into middle early round to actually put Zero Chance in the position to close the angle should they not drop the smoke. So a lot of teams, will, the player will just go for the dry peek through connector or from that sniper window. But, I mean, of course, the skybox is open. Why not throw some flashes for him?
100%. So Exastras have actually done a pretty good job of keeping all 5 players alive here, finding a bit of map control and information as well. They've got Badger towards the top of middle, but Dingo just overextends ever so slightly, and Hackham takes his head clean off, just as I was singing their praises for managing to keep all 5 players alive and try and work into an execute as the clock winds down. They lose an integral part as the AWP goes down. Still going to try and make it happen towards this B bomb side eventually, though. And Hackham is here by himself, and there isn't any immediate responders, so he's going to have to lock them this down, and he's going to be spotting the players as they start to make their way forward. The Cavalier is making its way across, but he's still going to have to lock it down for an extended period here. He's going to be able to find the trades there, though. Flexy's come through. However, Creation and Clown, between the two of them, they've still been able to get themselves onto this B bomb site. Bomb not planted just yet, though. 1 versus 2 with 18 seconds left on the clock. He's going to have to commit here eventually.
Needed to actually go for the full plant as opposed for the fake, but he wouldn't know where those players are, and could actually find himself on the A bomb side if he went for it, but decides not to.
No time though. 3 seconds left.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, I should be looking at that timer, but I was not.
That's okay.
And of course the players were. So
at least he gets bomb plants, but I don't think that that's much of a consolation at this point for Exastras. The only consolation is winning rounds to make them feel better. Just feels like whoever Sinister 5 calls on at that moment is capable of standing up and winning the round for them, which is really good. It's not like they're just pinning their hopes on any individual player. But having said that, Mistum and Flexi still popping off here on Mirage. 17 frags between the two of them inside 5 rounds, Mike.
Well, the interesting thing about it is if we look back at last week, it was Mistum and then Divo who were the guys, and then Hackham who was winning the clutches. So it's not the same players, which is heartening. You know, you don't want it to be, obviously Mistum is there, but between the supporting act, you want the other guys to be able to show up as well. Jeez, Flexi, wide peeking with it.
He has to drop that smoke in an awkward place,
with
but
the blender.
They're still pushing straight into him. They're pushing into the fire. Hackham supporting him there with the incendiary. And Flexi was dancing with death. Somehow he's able to avoid the Reaper, keeps himself alive, and he's going to continue to push forward here. Fearing absolutely nothing, Mike. Nothing.
No.
This man is invincible. He's got 1 death.
Jeez. Yeah, he does seem almost invulnerable. Just the 1 death against his name now on 10 kills as well. And that really was a blender. Frog in a blender there.
Yeah.
Bits flying everywhere.
Jeez, that's quite a mental image. I'd probably have done without that one, thanks. There used to be a joke about a frog in a blender, but it's not really coming back to me, so we're going to have to move on. Tactical pause here. First one of the day, actually, I think. We've had quite a few technicals. Maybe there's been 1 or 2, but we didn't see many being employed by Energy against Gravity on Inferno. We didn't see many tac pauses. I don't think Exastras felt like a tac pause would have made much of a difference on Dust.
I don't think it would have.
Yeah, I don't either, so I don't blame them in that regard, not opting for one.
Yeah, but normal service has resumed over here. ADR of 124 and Flexi 139 on Mr. and Hackham also on 114. That's just, woo, craziness.
And that's why we say that Zero Chance, his job with the AWP is not as important as it may have been in other teams, considering that they've got the likes of Divo, Mistim, and Flexi Hackham as well, who just tend to pop off consistently with these rifles. They get the job done, so they just need the AWPer in the back line to be locking it down, making sure that they aren't getting infiltrated, finding those easier frags.
Yeah, and he does hit the frags that he needs to, which is great. So, I mean, one of the highlights we were showing at the beginning of the broadcast was him just getting 3 kills easy as you like on train, long angle towards that B-bomb site. And, you know, it's just that's kind of the thing. You should actually just be banking those kills. A lot of players will go for those aggressive plays because they have the skill to pull it off. Zero Chance does have that, but he doesn't need to do it. And of course, for him, it's a little bit more sporadic. I don't think he's got quite the level of speed of somebody like an ADM or a Zoe.
Yeah. It's important that you're also aware of what your strengths are, so you play to your strengths. You don't try and go out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. Well, Sinister 5 very firmly in their comfort zone as we count down back into the round after the issues that were being discussed, as well as a slight technical issue that didn't delay us too much. So off we go into the round. X-Astros on pistols. They're going to hope they can maybe throw a spanner in the works here, but it's a bit hard to throw a spanner in when you're held back by the fire, and there's trades happening.
Yeah, Dingo able to find the first frag in the round as his teammates make their way onto the A bomb site. Shanks has been able to find an AK here, but unfortunately the crosshair placement is just off. Divo taking him down, but still he's only good for the 1 frag, and missed him. Also only finds 1. So Hackham is now left in the clutch situation, and they know exactly where he is as he rattles those shots off through connector. He's able to bring Creation down to 37 health, but still, both of these players survive for X-Astros. You can see the head though, he's tapping away, but unfortunately the recoil is not working out for him. Goes for the AK. Flash peek coming through here from Badger. Looks like Hackham may be lagging slightly or something. Seems to be back on it now though, as he's making his way forward onto the safe bomb site. He taps down Creation and he finds Badger. Really well done by him. He looked a little bit out of sorts there. He looked a bit awkward initially. Looked a bit slow to react, but then completely turns things around and he finds the 1v2.
His movements did suggest maybe a potential timing out of the internet or something like that, but
not right there though.
Came back in time for him to land the shots. Hackham so reliable in the clutch, and that's what's amazing on the Sinister 5 team. Being a good player doesn't necessarily mean you're great at clutching, and you know, but if you look at the guys that they've got here, they've actually got 4 players who are known for having that ability. Maybe Flexi less so, but you know, since his role has changed away from that sort of hard entry kind of thing, he seems to have brought out that ability to the fore. Yeah, so we did get a word that there's a bit of server lag going on, so perhaps that's probably what we saw, what was affecting him. But that's a gut-wrenching clutch for X-Astros to lose, right? That's the 2v1. That's the round right there. Make it 6-1. Get yourselves on the board a lot earlier on than the case on Dust. Maybe try and find some momentum, put some scoreboard pressure on Sinister 5, but still just doesn't work out for them. And that was the round where Sinister 5's players were going for a couple of ill-advised peaks, trying to boss the engagements against the pistols, and it did bite them. So bit of a letdown, I think, for X-Astros there, and a reprieve for Sinister 5. Got to say, I'm very glad to see Hackham in a team where he isn't necessarily required to be the heavy fragger, because I think he's much better suited as like the third, second or third best player, the guy who can contribute, but doesn't have to get the 30 all the time. Whereas, I think maybe at times in the Sinister 5 team going back to last year, he's probably needed to frag a bit more, at the top of the scoreboard than I necessarily think his style of play is suited towards. I think that's a fair assessment, Mike. Just had a bit of a server hitch there, but we're back. Servers are playing up. It's a Saturday, so these things happen. Weekends tend to bring about a interesting laziness. I don't know. Oh, robots don't get lazy. I love the walk that's going on there. Michael Jackson would be proud. I think he would. Yeah, it does look like we're having some server issues here, guys. Apologies for that. Hopefully that gets sorted out pretty quickly and we can resume seeing what's going on. Meanwhile, I'm going to speculate that Hackham's broken out the sock puppet. Is that your assumption? Yes. You want to name him? Jerry. Okay. Jerry the sock puppet doing his best to hold off the V-bomb site with Hackham. Look at that moonwalk. Wow. That's impressive. That's like the
Don't know what dance that is. I can't remember the name. But
Some Russian folk dancing
there
there,
we
but
go. Just need to cross the arms, right? Anyway, so there's a technical timeout here just to figure out what's going on. So why don't we just revert to the major and just touch on what's going on that side of the world? Of course, very relevant in the world of Counter-Strike. As FaZe are busy playing Renegades, both of the teams are 1 win and 2 losses, so whoever loses this match will be eliminated. And Renegades picked up the first map, which was Mirage 22-19. So closing that out in overtime, it was FaZe who had match points. They dropped 3 map points, excuse me. Renegades closing it out there. Olaf popped off 36 frags for him, so he certainly still wants to keep himself in that Covenant group. Well, lone group at this point. If anyone who's not familiar, he is the only Counter-Strike player in history to have played in every single playoff of all the majors to date.
and that was even playing for LGB back in the day. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's even done it while not being in a fancy team.
Exactly.
So definitely not been at his form in the last few years, however, unfortunately. So, well, not last year, shall I say.
So, just to try and figure out exactly what's going on here, we're going to just take a short break, and we will be back with you shortly after this Lenovo advert.
My name is Eugen Naidu. I am the consumer lead for Lenovo South Africa. We are responsible for all the PCs that comes into the country, be it from your entry-level PC all the way up to our stylish Legion product. So we are the brand that brings in that product. We decided to partner with Evetech because we've actually gone down a long journey with them, dating back 2 years ago. One of the core functions or partnership mode was to develop a league, and today I'm very proud to announce that we've got the ECL, which is the Evetech Champions League. The reason we've gone with Evetech is we are strategic partners and we've invested in each other's businesses. Very happy to work with our colleagues. ECL is very important to us. We have invested into this brand, the Evetech Champions League. We believe we need to create the platform to allow South Africans to compete and to really show us their skills. What I can tell you is that the gaming industry is going to grow to more than 300 million rand this year in South Africa alone. So it's a very important factor to give the actual consumers a platform to enjoy their product. Lenovo as a brand will be investing in our communities. We believe that Africa has the most potential around the world, and the reality is that the guys actually don't have the same disposable income as the guys in Europe. So there are a few projects that we have lined up to take our brand to the communities. I'll share more of that during the ECL. Lenovo is a company that is customer-centric. So every product we build, we take the consumer's look and feel, design, and the way they actually interact and engage with our product. So I do believe that all our decisions going forward on product design and development will be based on our customer. One thing I must add is that Lenovo is the #1 brand worldwide. We're leading currently in China, and in Africa we have the biggest opportunity as we stand here today to grow our market share. We've just launched Season 3, and we've already got 40 teams that's registered to participate. Now that is an incredible feat, and we're very happy to actually have 40 partners or 40 participants in the space of 4 days. So this is going to grow and get bigger and bigger as we get into Season 4, 5, and 6. What I can say here is like our tagline on the Legion product: stylish on the outside and savage on the inside. This is going to be a savage league, so I hope you're ready.
Legion by Lenovo.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm savage on the inside too, it would seem. I say all sorts of things I shouldn't, but, well, not much that we can say, unfortunately, because we are running into some more issues on the server for these players here in Evetech Champions League Season 3. This is the second last day of group play before we head into those playoffs next week, Matt.
Yeah, how exciting are those playoffs. But just before that, what about tomorrow?
That's a good one.
Big Five. I have been frothing for this match since match day 1. So the fact that we are so close has definitely got me keen. What are you thinking about that game, actually, just while we got some time?
I think I'd give Goliath the edge, and just looking at the head-to-head, I feel like Goliath have the edge in terms of overall skill. I mean, both teams are prodigiously skilled, but, you know, Detrony is a huge injection of skill to a team and experience, and he's calling for them. So Detrony probably the most experienced player at winning big matches in South Africa. I just feel like he's definitely going to be the difference maker for that team.
Yeah.
They've got a bunch of young stars as well who can also pop off. But
Yeah.
that being said, I just feel like Detrony, he's the ultimate trump card that you can play.
Yeah, having said that, to me it feels like Big Five, they rise to the occasion. They're one of those teams who tend to play better against better opposition. Anyway, we will get stuck into this conversation a bit later or tomorrow. We're going to just jump to a quick break here, guys, because there is a few technical issues we're trying to resolve on the server side. Please bear with us. Take the time to grab a quick cup of coffee, and like I said, we'll be back in 5. We are back. Unfortunately, we did miss one round. It was 7-0, but it is 8-0, so not too much went on when we were disconnected. So
I can't tell a difference. So, yeah, let's see. Hopefully the server holds together. They've managed to duct tape it together.
Yeah.
Hit it with a hammer a few times, maybe reverse the car over it. You know, that always fixes computers when they're broken.
Yeah.
Take it from me, I'm
tends to make
experienced.
a big difference, you know, whenever electronics are involved. Use a big
Reverse the
hammer.
car.
Jeez. So, Sinister 5, 8-0 is the scoreline right now. Exas just yet to get on the board. Just after that long technical break, let's see if that's what they needed to reset their mental state. Zero chance on short. He's going to be able to find one, and he drops that incendiary to buy himself some time, and that allows Flexi to come through, gets the spray down, and unfortunately nothing really coming to fruition here for Ex-Astros, Mike.
Pause does not seem to do them good at all. They're getting picked off one by one. Thought maybe Zero Chance was in a little bit of trouble when he got caught on the edge there trying to run away, edge of the corner, but doesn't actually catch him off at all, unfortunately.
He's actually been doing a pretty good job of finding the initial frag and then making his way back to safety. I must say, consistently dropping that util down to make sure he can get out, keeping himself alive. So
yeah, and do
props
enjoy
to him.
an AWPer that does, you know, take that responsibility and go for those early kills. It's such a powerful weapon, and it's so expensive. You might as well use it properly. Creation, catching off Divo, he can still do some damage. I mean, they don't actually have as much money as you'd expect, considering all the round wins.
I just want to go back to that point you made, assuming not too much is going to be happening here. Creation in the 1v4. Let's just take a second to see as he flashes himself towards the top of middle. And he is going to be able to find a few shots there onto Hack'em. Going to get taken down by Flexi. Anyway, just to add on to that point you were saying about an AWPer, and you enjoy him taking the responsibility, getting aggressive, finding the early frag in the round. That's all good and well if you can stay alive. If you find a pick and you immediately go down afterwards as a CT AWPer, you've actually done your team an injustice, and you've put them in a worse off position than you were before you found that frag. So
quite right.
It is very important that you do get out alive after finding one pick.
There was a nice interview with the coach of NRG, Unped, after their win over Charlotte in the major yesterday, where he was saying that they actually worked on, well, I'll get to that now because it looks like a B rush is coming in. Lots of nade damage coming in there.
Oh, wow.
Just wrecking them with a nade.
He put all 5 of them burned.
What? He aced.
He aced with an incendiary. That's pretty stylish. I give him 10 out of 10 for that.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yeah. You know, we see all those players pushing.
Did he got all 5 with the fire?
All 5 with the fire.
I've never seen that.
I don't think I've seen that once before, and it's when Navi on an eco round, all 5 of the players sat in the flames to get the round over with. That's the only time, and it was intentional. This was not intentional. And look at what it's done to them. They've stunned. Some of them in spawn buying, some of them rushing with Desert Eagles and landing shots like that. I'd Badger. 100k MPH wide swing takes down Zero Chance. That's one way to get the job done, Mike.
Hack'em is certainly feeling it. He doesn't want to give him any space.
They find a frag, and then Sinister 5's like, yeah, no. Quad kill. All of you down. Shanks, the only player remaining.
Nice idea, guys, but we've got other ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Hack'em, he's got the angle on lockdown. And look at the patience from Hack'em. He knows he's the only player at the B-bomb side. He's not pushing forward, getting aggressive, looking for the frags. He understands that he has a responsibility. He has a job. And that's been the difference between Sinister 5's approach and some of the other teams' approach against these lesser teams. I really appreciate the discipline I'm observing right now.
Quite so. Again, very disjointed by courtesy of, well, I don't know if it was confusion or what it was in that last round, but I think if you're Ex-Astros, you're probably not sure of your own name at the moment. You're being manhandled so by what Sinister 5 are dishing out.
Yeah, this is not pretty. Going to be Dingo rushing straight into the B-bomb side by himself, trying to take a bit of attention away. He goes down to the York, perhaps trying to create a diversion. The problem is that there's not much being done off the back of it. They're trying to push up Catwalk, but Zero Chance just taking them down through the smoke. He doesn't even need vision of his opposition.
Jeez, and a couple close shots as well.
Yeah, Divo looking to add to that tally. He's going to have the audio cues. He's being pursued here. He takes down Creation, and Shanks is the only player remaining. I think Creation's like, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah, I think it's an absolute firing squad they're facing here. Flexi with that AWP as well.
20 for 2, just BTW.
Jeez.
He's really looked really good today. It's certainly my MVP.
Yeah, he's looked great. Really enjoyed Flexi. I think I've always said Flexi's one of my favorite CT players to watch in South Africa.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Oh yeah, and
sure.
It's just he's so efficient at it, and it does feel like in maybe most of this year I haven't seen quite that level, but again, he's not been playing with Domster. He was playing with Domster for literal years before. Now starting to come into his own, and I'm really enjoying Flexi succeeding. X-Astros, however, not succeeding at anything, it would seem.
Yeah, that does appear to be the case indeed, Mike. Hackham this time going to get pushed forward a little bit, get slightly aggressive, takes down Dingo.
I like how he's changing his position, doing all sorts of things through the smoke. Creation, not so sure about that. Zero chance finding Shanks as well, and that's the round.
I think that's a clear indication of the way that X-Astros are feeling about this game right now. Just kind of want to get it over as soon as possible. And you don't, I mean, it's not good to have unrealistic prospects as a team, right? I mean, I don't think that X-Astros should have been heading into this match saying, guys, like, come on, if we play really well at our best, we can beat them 2-0. Because what that does is it sets you up for disappointment. So if you're realistic about your approach and your chances, then...
Oh, nice shot in the follow-up. Yeah, he could get the kill. Doesn't somehow Mistim kills him.
No idea how Mistim gets that frag. Down left in the 1 versus 3 here. He's got smoke to cover him for the bomb plant. He's actually going to go for the fake. There isn't anyone towards CT, so in the greater scheme of things, it's not going to make much of a difference. He is hell-bent on waiting for somebody to get aggressive. He's going to be spotting Hackham out, and some nice taps there means he takes down Hackham. Still looking for that information. Nothing coming through. There's actually a flank from Ramp, and Divo fluffing the first few shots is going to be able to take him down eventually. 13-0 is the scoreline.
Feel bad for Clown, man. I think you overthought that a little bit. When you got the smoke down, you probably got to go for it.
Yeah, agreed.
So 13-0 here. I don't think X-Astros can have any answers into this. Let's talk about Sinister 5 and what they're going to be facing going into those playoffs. Because this would put them at least third, but probably second, depending on what happens. Because they did beat both Goliath and Big 5, so the head-to-head would favor them.
I don't think it works off of head-to-head, though. I think it's round difference across the entire competition.
Well, I think they just got the round difference today.
Yeah, that's true. They certainly have done themselves a huge favor here with a bit of team damage from Creation. That allows Mistim to get the double, the triple. Just doing so much damage, but the rebuttal is there. Creation and Badger both finding a frag apiece. Now down to the 2 versus 2. Flexi has an angle and he's going to be able to shut down Badger, who's just harmlessly trying to cross the CT. Flexi, stop this madness.
Well, he says, yeah, okay, I'll stop it.
Yeah, I'll put an end to it.
Wow, 14-0. Same trajectory as we saw in the previous map. Very well played here by Mistim to stay alive even as his teammate goes down.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Lines up for him. 14-0 double AWP. Actually, it's really heartening to see the double AWP working for Sinister 5 as well, because I don't think they really had much of that going on before.
Yeah, and I'm actually really excited to see Flexi picking up the second AWP on the CT side. He is a very capable AWPer. Very quick AWPer as well. Zero Chance has the catwalk on lockdown as he finds Clown. And Sinister 5, well, they're clowning X-Astros right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. You can just see the frustration in X-Astros. Everything they try gets shut down. Everything they do, they get swatted. And, well, nothing but headshots. It seems there's one at least for Badger, but immediately gets returned on.
What a performance from Sinister 5. After beating Big 5, after beating Goliath, to come here and absolutely destroy X-Astros, to snuff out any element of doubt about this team and just really asserting their dominance. Fantastic for Sinister 5.
Yeah, this is a very complete performance, obviously against a team that isn't at their level, but at the same time, they did just beat the 2 best teams in the country last weekend, so I think they're gathering a lot of momentum here going into the playoffs.
And this is when you want to be peaking as well. We're going into the ECL playoffs. After that is Comic-Con. After that is Rage. So September, that's the month that you want your team to be performing at their best.
Sinister September, could it be?
Potentially.
Pistol round, yeah, second half, 15-0. Sinister 5 on their T side, getting in towards the A bomb site here and taking in a lot of control. Trades favoring X-Astros, but just for a moment.
Jeez, Hackham is the difference between the two teams in this round so far. Shanks able to come in with the frag of his own means we're down to a 3v3 here. Sinister 5 yet to plant the bomb, and these Astros players have actually been able to get quite far forward on these rotations, but these P250s are doing so much damage. Flexi finding a frag of his own there as well. One-man advantage now for Sinister 5 in the post-plant situation. Kits on Badger to work with Flashbang to lead the charge means these players are going to be blinded up in CT, and Shanks, he finds himself a double, but Zero Chance is not accounted for, and he's going to be shutting down both Badger and Shanks. Zero Chance giving them zero hope, dashes it as we go for the 16-0. What a result for Sinister 5.
I'm starting to get a little bit worried here.
About what?
I seem to be predicting these scores and these matches. I was kind of going like, 16-0, and you're like, there hasn't been a 16-0.
Nate Stradamus.
Well,
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was low-hanging fruit.
and yeah, that was coming. I won't lie. But anyway, geez, I mean, I can understand why they started the game earlier that we expected on the break now, the technical break. Obviously, Sinister 5 just wanted to close it out. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, let's just move on. Like, completely hammered
Yeah.
Exastrus there. There's no way to even, try and open up that where Exastrus went wrong.
Well, I mean,
Everything went wrong for them.
They logged
They even
into the
got
server.
aced.
Yeah.
They even got aced with an incendiary. So
you could see that Exastrus were done though at about 8-0 or so. The players just started pushing around the map individually, making their own plays, sort of thing. But let's just take a second to actually realize what a turnaround this was for Sinister 5 in the season. After losing their first match against Gravity, after losing the match after that to Energy, things were looking really poor for them. And for them to just make a lone roster change, generally you don't see such a massive change in a team's performance after bringing one new player into the equation.
Yeah.
So really well done
this
by
one.
Sinister 5, and they deserve a lot of respect for this turnaround in the season. It really requires some impressive mental fortitude and tenacity to actually be capable of doing something like that.
I think it does also show you that the fundamental systems they had in place were already pretty good. So, it's just now with the player change, a better mentality, it seemed to work so much better for them, because they don't seem to be playing massively different to before. It's just, all the pieces are there, it all seems to fit, and it's all come together. The 2-0 for them on the result for the day.
yeah, definitely good for Sinister 5. Great weekend once again for them. I mean,
Yeah.
walking away from, they've definitely been on the up as soon as Muslim joined that team. You can see the massive impact that he's added.
And I don't remember the last time I saw one new addition making such a big difference in a team as well. They went from 0 points in 2 matches to 6 points in their next 3 matches.
Simple
maximum
Team
points.
Liquid in 2016.
But let's also talk
Fair
about
enough, yeah.
let's also talk about Exastrus quickly for a second here. Like, irrespective of the result today, I think they did alright. I think they did pretty good in this league. They
There were some
definitely held their
glimpses.
own.
Yeah.
They beat Sinister 5, funny enough, to qualify for
Yeah.
the CCL. So, there's merit there. And I think from an experience point of view, this team has definitely learned a lot playing up against the big boys. And, kudos to them. So, hopefully going forward, they might be able to qualify for other competitions and other leagues.
Yeah.
I do wonder what their expectations might have been, because if I look at it, the in-game leader leaving or being removed, we don't know which of the two right before the last game. That almost says like a frustration of like, oh, we could have done better or something. But I really don't think they could have with what they were facing. So I hope, as you were saying during the cast, Matt, hopefully their expectations were realistic,
Yeah,
and they weren't
exactly.
looking at it coming in, oh, we're going to wreck everybody, because really what you should be doing is trying to learn from these experiences. And there's not a lot to be learned from being 16-0'd and 16-1. But at the same time, I mean, out of the other games, they should have gotten something. So I do think the
It was
team...
it was their expectation when we had the media.
Yeah, is that what they said?
Yeah, they were like, listen, we're just going to play the best we can play and see where
Okay,
it
good.
takes us."
Yeah.
So they've done they've done exactly
Again,
that.
I think in the other games of the season, they did have some really good showings, and they did have some positive signs. It's just, I think overall what we didn't see from them was a holistic sort of tactical approach. It did always seem to be a game of two halves with these guys, unfortunately, because individually there's some skilled players.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look at the table quickly now of the Evetech Champions League. Who is where and what is how?
There we
We've
go.
got Sinister 5 sitting in 3rd position right now, so they've qualified now for the playoffs. The same with Energy Sports, congratulations. And of course, we've got tomorrow's game between Big 5 and Goliath, who is going to take the top one there. We
Can
don't
I
know.
ask on this one, how do we differentiate those teams? Is it because Sinister 5 for now have 2 losses that they'd be 3rd on the table, or?
Yeah.
So when one of the other teams, whichever one loses tomorrow between Big 5 and Goliath, will it then come down to round difference, or
Correct.
head to head?
Round difference.
Well, I mean, 16-0 and 16-1 surely fixed your round difference if you're Sinister 5, so they should be a shoe-in for 2nd then.
Yeah, in theory. But
In theory, yeah.
I just have to go and double check the rules, obviously, the rules and regulations, because there's quite a lot of rules when it comes to the tiebreakers in particular.
Yeah.
It might be head-to-head, looking at previous...
Even then Sinister 5 are 2nd.
In,
so.
in
Yeah.
theory, yeah.
But
So-
keep in mind, if Big 5 and Goliath draw tomorrow, they both get a point, and that means that they will be the top 2 then,
yeah.
with 7 points.
And they'll remain the top.
Exactly, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. So if they draw, then they secure themselves top 2.
Yeah. So let's have a look at the schedule now for tomorrow. The big match tomorrow. It is the final match of the group stages. It is Goliath Gaming versus Big 5. Number 1 versus number 2. It starts at 2 o'clock sharp on Jinx TV, channel 127 DSTV, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, and maybe on Instagram.
Jeez.
Wow.
We might extend
You have to
it.
start writing these things down.
Yeah, no. Well, jeez, that's exactly what I'm doing right
Yeah,
now.
nice.
But I think this is going to be a great game. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be very
One we've
close.
been waiting for.
Yeah.
And we have been kind of talking this game up.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that it's going to be very, very close, pretty much down to the wire on both maps.
That's why I was saying the prospect of a draw is very plausible heading into that match. And don't be mistaken, we only have one game tomorrow. It is the last game of the group
Yes.
stage. So you want to make sure you're there for 2 p.m. because if you miss it, you're going to miss the rest of the day. So seriously, it's going to be such a good game and definitely one making a bit of time in your day for.
The other cool thing about tomorrow is we're announcing the winners. The winner of the ECL Predictor app, and then, of course, the social media challenge. Just quickly have a chat about that. Predictor app, eclpredictor.com. Pretty simple. You can predict these games. I'm just going to have to quickly load up my one here so you guys can see how it looks like. For a second.
Did you pick Sinister 5, Nate?
I'm actually going to go do my picks now.
No, I mean
Here we go. Okay,
against
cool.
X
Let's have a
Africans.
quick look at this. There are my picks. I have gone for Sinister 5 in the win, so yay, I get some points there. And of course, I'm going for Goliath Gaming on winning tomorrow's game. I
Yeah.
can change it. You can change it online. Anyone that is still logged in, you can still change this match. But I'm going to go with Goliath Gaming now. I'm doing pretty well. I'm actually 20th out of
Yeah.
like 600 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Jeez.
Um,
Okay, so sitting on the fence does work sometimes.
It does.
But he didn't put his money where his mouth is because he backed energy in the predictor on the desk, though. He said he believes that good gravity can make the draw happen, and he was right on the desk.
Did he really believe? Was that? I don't know.
I don't know.
It was definitely the case because I even predicted the 16-0.
Yeah, this is true. It
Which
seems
was
to be,
by accident.
quite a force today, Nate.
So obviously, if you predict correct, you stand a chance of actually winning one of these awesome hampers. Right in front there's a bag, there's a mouse pad, there's some peripherals provided by Legion Lenovo, and you get the pop socket, which leads me to the second part of this conversation, and that's the social media challenge, of course. It's pretty simple. Send your dankest memes featuring our panelists and Evetech pop socket on Twitter and stand a chance to win an Evetech and Lenovo hamper. To qualify, you have to tag at Evetech and at Lenovo Africa. Hashtag ECL 2019 needs to be used. You see the awesome hamper there, and Mike is obviously referring
Mike is gone.
to
Mike.
one of the older memes, the googly eyes.
You can never have too many
Mike
hats.
is gone. There's no more Mike. There's only Keppies now.
It's Keppies.
Mike has left the set. Okay.
Yeah, so for the viewers out there, obviously you stand a chance of winning these hampers every single week. Go and predict, or go and try out the social media challenge with the pop socket. That ends tomorrow, and there will be a new challenge for next week, of course. So stay tuned and check out the kind of like what that's going to consist of. I don't know. I don't even know what the social media team's got behind
Oh gosh.
behind their backs.
Well, they've
with
been
regards to
relentless
this.
so far. So,
Yes. But we'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much for joining us on this phenomenal match day 7 of the Evetech Champions League. We'll catch you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Goodbye for now.